Chapter 1484. Western Dragons. What is this place? Yang Hongwu opened his eyes. He felt that his understanding of the Tao of space had deepened. His grasp of the secret technique of void travel had become more proficient. When Yang Hongwu opened his eyes, he couldn't help but frown. This place didn't seem right. The spiritual energy here was very dense. It wasn't like the common people's continent. The spiritual energy here was even denser than in the divine realm. Roar. A roar caused Yang Hongwu's expression to change. This roar caused one's heart to tremble. This was the roar of a dragon. Moreover, this dragon seemed a little strange. Are those Western dragons? Yang Hongwu raised his head and saw that it was a huge dragon. This huge dragon was different from the dragons he had seen before. The dragons he had seen before were Eastern dragons. But this time, he saw Western dragons. Yang Hongwu searched his memories, but he didn't find such dragons in the divine realm or the common people's continent. Yang Hongwu could clearly feel that the bloodline of these dragons wasn't low. Human. A huge head with huge eyes stared at Yang Hongwu. I can feel a special aura from your body. Dragon human? The huge Western dragons looked at Yang Hongwu and said, "Where is this place?" Yang Hongwu looked at the huge guy in front of him without fear. Although this was a foreign place, Yang Hongwu could still sense the location of the divine realm and the coordinates of the common people's continent. And Yang Hongwu, who had the void travel technique, wasn't worried about not being able to return. Although it wasn't easy for him to use the void travel technique to return to the common people's continent with his current cultivation and strength, he could set up a formation. Yang Hongwu's comprehension of the Tao of formations was absolutely top-notch. As for the dragons in front of him, Yang Hongwu didn't put them in his eyes. He had to admit that this guy's dragon's bloodline was very high, but it was still far from Lu Li's. However, his cultivation was very strong, especially the strength of his physical body. It was quite powerful. Seeing that you have the blood of dragons, I won't make things difficult for you. You can leave. This is my territory. The giant dragon didn't answer Yang Hongwu's question. Are you not giving me face? Yang Hongwu's face darkened, and he said coldly, Also, I'm not a half-dragon person. I'm a human. Yang Hongwu didn't like being called a half-dragon. Although this fellow was not from the Eastern Dragon tribe that Yang Hongwu knew of, Yang Hongwu had a feeling that the dragon sect and his bloodline could suppress this fella. Although this guy's strength was strong, equivalent to a late Tai true god, Yang Hongwu could deal with this guy even if he didn't set up a formation. Therefore, Yang Hongwu wasn't worried about his safety at all. Now, he was curious about where this place was. He needed resources to set up a formation, so he had to figure out the situation here. Damn reptile, I saw that you have the blood of dragons and the aura of dragons. That's why I didn't care about you trespassing into my territory. But you, reptile, don't know what's good for you. Then I'll eat you. After saying that, the giant dragon opened his mouth and bit towards Yang Hongwu. The giant mouth was filled with a strong stench that made people want to do evil. A strong suction force came out from his mouth, trying to pull Yang Hongwu in. Yang Hongwu said coldly. A cold light burst out from his eyes. He stretched out his hand and grabbed at the void. A giant dragon gate appeared. The giant dragon gate instantly appeared on top of the giant dragon's head. Bam! With a loud bang, the giant dragon was smashed into the ground. Oh! A scream was heard. Damned reptile, this dragon is in so much pain, so much pain. Suppress. Yang Hongwu shouted. The giant dragon's body kept shrinking until it turned into a small lizard and was pressed to the ground by the dragon gate. Little lizard, are you still arrogant now? Yang Hongwu said faintly. No, no, spare my life, spare my life, spare my life. What's your name? Yang Hongwu asked. Bohai, Lord, my name is Bohai. I'm from the Earth Dragon clan. Bohai hurriedly replied. His body was still lying on the ground, unable to get up from the dragon gate. He looked at Yang Hongwu with eyes full of awe. Where's this place? Yang Hongwu thought for a moment and added, What plane is this? Lord, this is the dragon world. Bohai said, Dragon world? Yang Hongwu frowned slightly. Have you heard of the divine realm? Divine realm? Is it the divine realm? Bohai was stunned. There's a divine realm. The divine realm and our dragon world don't get along. Lord, are you from the divine realm? No. Yang Hongwu shook his head. It seemed that this guy didn't know about the existence of the divine realm. Perhaps this guy's status was still low and he didn't know about these things. Who was the person with the highest status in your dragon world? Yang Hongwu asked after thinking for a while. He had a feeling that there was an opportunity for him in this world. When he entered this world, it was as if there was a mysterious force that was leading him here. In this world, what was there that could be an opportunity for him? Yang Hongwu thought in his heart. Of course, it's the Dragon Emperor. The most powerful person in the dragon world with the highest status is the Dragon Emperor. Bohai said, Lord Dragon Emperor has a high status and powerful strength. Even the divine emperors of the divine realm are no match for our Lord Dragon Emperor. If it weren't for the fact that we dragons are too few in number, the divine realm would have long been ours. What is the Dragon Emperor's name? Yang Hongwu asked. Lord, our Dragon Emperor is called Du Lizi. Bohai said, how is her strength? What realm is she in? Yang Hongwu continued to ask. Naturally, she's in the Emperor realm. Bohai said. Yang Hongwu frowned slightly. Was the Emperor realm equivalent to the Divine Emperor realm? If that was the case, then this world was of a higher level than the Divine realm. This was shocking. One had to admit that the spiritual energy in this world was indeed richer than in the deity domain. However, it was not by much. Just when Yang Hongwu was about to continue asking, Yang Hongwu felt Lu Li's information. Yang Hongwu let Lu Li out. Brother, the aura here is so familiar. Lu Li said after coming out. Lu Li, do you know where this place is? Yang Hongwu was pleasantly surprised. Lu Li felt that this place was familiar. Could it be that Lu Li had been here before? If that was the case, it couldn't be better. Chapter 1485. Shi Jia Dragon Region. Shi Jia Dragon Region? Yang Hongwu couldn't help but smile when he saw that Lu Li knew about this place. Since Lu Li knew about this place, it couldn't be better. Since Lu Li knows about this place, that's great. Brother, Songxing Continent and this place are not in the same universe. How did you come here? Lu Li was curious about this point. It was not an easy task to travel from one universe to another. Lu Li was very surprised that Yang Hongwu could come to Shi Jia Dragon Region. With Yang Hongwu's current cultivation, it was impossible for him to do so. Accident. This is an accident. I met with an accident when I was teleporting to Songxing Continent from the God Domain. That's why I was teleported here. Yang Hongwu said. He looked at Lu Li and knew that Lu Li's identity was definitely not that simple. It was more complicated than what he knew before. Now that Lu Li knew about the Shi Jia dragons, he must have awakened some ancient inheritance memories. Lu Li, did you get the inheritance memories? Yes, brother. It's because of the aura here that I awakened some memories. Although it's not complete, I still have some understanding of Shi Jia Dragon Region. This place is a special universe. The ruler of this universe seems to have some relationship with me. Lu Li said, so I awakened some memories. I feel that there's an opportunity for me here. Yang Hongwu said, I'm afraid it's related to the Dragon Gate. Yang Hongwu thought about it. Since this place is the Dragon Region, then there are only two possibilities that attracted him here. One is related to the Dragon Gate. Maybe it's a part of the ancient Dragon Gate. The other is the inheritance of the dragons or the treasure of the dragons. Maybe it's the inheritance of the Dragon Pearl? Yang Hongwu remembered that the inheritance of the Dragon Pearl that he obtained was not complete. At first, he didn't know about it. Later on, when his strength increased, he knew how powerful the real Dragon Pearl was. The inheritance of the 9 Dragon Saint Body was not just one, right? Maybe there were 9 Dragon Pearls? No matter what, Yang Hongwu still couldn't figure it out. In the end, it was because his strength was too weak. He hadn't reached that realm yet. The more his cultivation increased, the more Yang Hongwu found that this universe was extremely mysterious. In the boundless void, he was like a drop in the ocean. He was not worth mentioning at all. In the past, Yang Hongwu's eyes. Great emperors were great emperors. Invincible great emperors was just powerful was. Even invincible great emperors was great emperors. In front of a primordial true God realm expert, a great Emperor realm martial artist, was like an ant, unable to withstand a single blow. However, divine emperors were more powerful than Tai true gods. Above divine emperors, there were divine emperors. Yang Hongwu's heart was filled with emotions. Now, he knew that there were even more terrifying existences above divine emperors. They were sovereign realm experts. Sovereign realm experts could control a part of the universe. That was a real great universe, not a small bit wall or a small world. In a great universe, there were countless bit walls and worlds. In their eyes, he was like a speck of dust, or even smaller. Yang Hongwu had to admit that there was no end to the path of cultivation. No one knew where the end of cultivation was, because you may never be able to reach that level. After raising your cultivation to the peak that you know, there will be even more profound realms. Dragon sect? That's possible. Luli was stunned for a moment. Luli, do you have any idea? Yang Hongwu asked. If it's the dragon sect, there's a place that might be related to it. Luli said. Where? The Holy Land of Dragons in La Liga, the Dragon Pond. Luli said. You want to take the Dragon Pond? Hearing this, Bohai's face changed. The dragon raising pool was the foundation of the entire dragon tribe. These two actually wanted to take it? This was not a good thing. It seems that you know the location of the dragon pond. Hearing Bohai's words, Luli looked at him and said, Originally, I said this in front of you because I wanted to kill you. It seems that you are still useful and can lead the way for us. Yang Hongwu nodded. Since Luli did not know the location of the dragon pond, he needed someone to lead the way. Since Bohai knew, it was a good choice. Did you hear that? Yang Hongwu looked at Bohai and said, Take us to the dragon raising pond. After we arrive, I can let you go. Of course, you can also choose not to take us. However, the consequences... Yang Hongwu smiled coldly, and a cold light flashed. Bohai shuddered when he heard this. How could he be so unlucky? How could he meet such a terrifying person? It was too depressing. The Dragon Pond is in the Holy Land of Dragons. I am not qualified to enter the Holy Land. Bohai smiled bitterly. It's not that I refuse, but I have never been to the Holy Land of Dragons. How would I know where the Dragon Pond is? More importantly, I am not qualified to enter the Holy Land. It seems that you have chosen to refuse. Yang Hongwu's expression darkened. A saber appeared in Yang Hongwu's hand. It was the Grand Mist Saber, originally the Nine-Dragon Saber. This saber was stained with the blood of countless experts. More importantly, it had a great suppressive effect on dragons. Although Bohai's strength was not bad, he still trembled under the pressure of the battle saber. The Grand Mist Saber seemed to want to devour his dragon soul. Behind Yang Hongwu, several shadows of dragons appeared. Bohai trembled. Who the hell was this guy? No, he's definitely not a human. How could a human have such a terrifying dragon aura? And even the protection of a divine dragon vision. Even though he did not recognize these mystical dragons, their dragon auras were too terrifying. They were even scarier than the Dragon Emperor. Master, I can't do anything even if you kill me. Bohai smiled bitterly. He did not want to die. Brother, it seems that he really has no way to take us to the Dragon Pond. Luli said, If that's the case, it's useless to keep him alive. Why don't we just kill him? Yang Hongwu said casually, as if killing a person was no different from killing a chicken. It was no big deal. Master, although I have no way to take you to the Dragon Pond, I have a way. Bohai said loudly when he saw the killing intent in Yang Hongwu's eyes and the saber in his hand. Chapter 1486. The dragon's anomaly. When Bohai heard this, he quickly shook his head and explained, No, don't worry, young master. No matter how bold I am, I wouldn't dare to joke about this. If young master doesn't believe me, I can make a soul blood oath. No need, Yang Hongwu said coldly. Bohai didn't have any other thoughts after hearing this. He didn't even need a soul blood oath. He was too confident. However, this was enough to prove how powerful and terrifying the other party was. He wasn't afraid of being schemed against. Only someone with absolute strength would act like this. Don't worry, young master. I, Bohai, am absolutely an honest person. I won't lie. Bohai quickly patted his chest and said, I don't think you would dare. Tell me, what is the method? Yang Hongwu said, In 3 days, our Shug dragons will hold a genius competition. The top 3 dragons will be qualified to enter the holy land of dragons and cultivate in the dragon-raising pond. Bohai said, Genius competition? Yang Hongwu frowned. I'm not a dragon. With your strength, I'm afraid you won't be able to enter the top 3, right? The spirit energy in this world was very dense, but Yang Hongwu didn't believe that this guy's strength could enter the top 3. Although his cultivation realm was passable, his aptitude wasn't much and his bloodline grade was very low. For dragons, bloodline grade and bloodline power were very important. If the bloodline grade wasn't high enough, it would be suppressed. Even if one's cultivation was strong enough, it would still be suppressed unless one's cultivation was a whole realm higher than the opponent's. In fact, a bloodline grade was almost comparable to a realm. This was the bloodline grade of dragons. It was very terrifying. Of course, this wasn't absolute. There were some exceptions, and that was bloodline mutation. This type was called an anomaly. The so-called divergent was not something that could be deduced using common sense. They had surpassed their original bloodline. To them, the bloodline was no longer a restriction or shackle. Without the suppression of the bloodline, they would often become extremely terrifying. Of course, this type of person would also become the target of suppression by others, especially those with noble bloodlines. They could not tolerate the existence of anomalies. Therefore, the dragon realm had always been trying its best to suppress the outliers. Once an outlier was discovered, it would be hunted to death. However, outliers were ultimately outliers. While they ignored bloodline ranks, their cultivation was also extremely terrifying. Generally speaking, the higher the bloodline, the easier it would be to cultivate. However, outliers broke this rule. The lower the bloodline, the more terrifying their cultivation would be. This made the dragons of La Liga especially angry, especially the Dragon Emperor of La Liga. This was also the reason why they could not easily accept the existence of the outliers. Yang Hongwu didn't know about these things, and neither did Lu Li. Sir, you have the bloodline of dragons. Naturally, you can participate. Aside from the outliers, everyone with the bloodline of dragons is allowed to participate, Bo Hai said. Outliers? Yang Hongwu was stunned when he heard this. What are outliers? Outliers are people who ignore the suppression of bloodline ranks. This group of people is extremely special. They are not suppressed by bloodline ranks, Bo Hai said. Bo Hai said, Young Master's bloodline is very noble. But forgive me for being blunt. Although Young Master's bloodline is very noble, your personal cultivation is not very good. If you encounter an anomaly, Young Master will be in great danger. These people will not be suppressed by Young Master's bloodline, and their strength is often very terrifying. If Young Master encounters them, it is best to avoid them. Interesting. This is really interesting. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. He didn't expect that there would be such an interesting situation in the dragon realm. Outliers, ignoring bloodline ranks. TSK. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. In fact, the so-called outliers didn't only exist in this world. They also existed in the dragon realm of the god realm. There's actually such a thing? That's interesting. I like to see those so-called anomalies. Hearing that, Lu Li's face was also full of surprise, and an excited expression appeared on her face. Sir, you can't be careless. The Dragon Emperor has been crazily suppressing the outliers. Whenever an outlier comes across one, he will kill them without mercy. Therefore, the outliers whose cultivation base is not very high are all killed. Those who survive are very terrifying, Bo Hai said. Their strength is really terrifying. It is said that the outlier emperor, Na Yi, is even stronger than the Dragon Emperor. Didn't you just say that the strongest people in this world are the divine emperor of the god race and the Dragon Emperor of the dragons? Why is there another Na Yi? Yang Hongwu looked at him. This, Na Yi is an outlier, so she's not included. Bo Hai said, I thought you were asking about the god realm. As for Na Yi, she is no longer in the god realm. In fact, the dragon realm was also a part of the god realm. Are there other planes? Yang Hongwu asked. Yes, sir. Our world is divided into 3 planes. One is the god realm, one is the human realm, and the last is the demon realm. The strongest in the demon realm are the demon emperor and Nai. Bohai said, "The demon realm? This is getting more and more interesting." Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes. This wasn't strange. It was the same as the deity domain. In the entire deity domain, not only was there the deity domain, there were also many small planes, just like the Sanshin continent. And opposite the deity domain, there was the demon domain, which was the archenemy of the deity domain. These two large planes and large worlds formed a large universe. This universe, which was also a great universe, was the same. "Thank you for your reminder," Yang Hongwu said. "However, I really want to see those so-called outliers." Hearing Yang Hongwu's words, Bohai did not say anything more. He had already said what he needed to say and reminded what he needed to. Even if something unexpected happened, it cannot be blamed on him. "Where is the Shug Dragon's Genius competition held?" Yang Hongwu asked. "It is in Shug Dragon City," Bohai said. "Shug Dragon City is the largest and most prosperous city of our Shug Dragons. It is a 2-day journey from here, so we must leave now. Otherwise, I am afraid we will not be able to make it in time for the registration." "Is there no teleportation formation?" Yang Hongwu asked. Yang Hongwu did not think that a teleportation formation would take that long. Chapter 1487. Bohai's Wrath 2 days later. A group of 3 arrived at Shug Dragon City. Shug Dragon City was indeed the largest city in the entire Shug Dragons. It was incomparably bustling, much more prosperous than the other cities. Each and every one of the Dragon Clan members here had extremely formidable strength. And in these few days, the number of people in Shug Dragon City was many times more than usual. Almost all the restaurants and inns were fully booked. The entire Shug Dragon City was bustling with noise and excitement, because in one day, it would be the day of the Shug Dragons competition. This place is indeed lively. Luli was strolling around. Although Luli was a dragon, she was still a woman. As a woman, she liked to stroll around. She looked here and there. Yang Hongwu could only let her be. "Let's go and register first," Yang Hongwu said. "Okay then." Hearing Yang Hongwu's words, Luli reluctantly left the stall. She and Yang Hongwu followed Bohai to the city lord's residence to register. The registration process was very simple. You only needed to pay 10 dragon source stones and leave a trace of your aura and name. This is the martial steel of the competition, Bohai explained as he inserted his aura. This martial steel is very mysterious. Rumor has it that it's a supreme treasure. The competition of geniuses will be held inside this martial steel. You can't be thinking of scheming against us, right? Luli frowned slightly. She looked at Bohai cautiously and asked, "Once you entered the martial steel's inner space, you wouldn't be able to control yourself. Moreover, this martial steel was indeed very mysterious. It was filled with a mysterious aura. If you were trapped inside, Luli knew that she wouldn't be able to leave." "How would I dare?" Bohai hurriedly shook his head. "This martial steel can't be controlled. Even the city lord only has the right to open it. I don't know the origin of this martial steel. Rumor has it that it has been left behind since ancient times. No one can control this martial steel. Therefore, the problem that Miss Luli mentioned is impossible. If you dare to deceive us, you're dead," Luli said fiercely. As for Yang Hongwu, he wasn't worried at all. What was a mere martial steel? Even if the martial tablet was a supreme treasure with a mysterious force inside it, or even a world of its own, so what? He was someone who possessed the Dharma, Eye of Annihilation. If it was a world of its own, that would be great. No matter what, this world couldn't possibly be a big world, right? As long as it wasn't a great world, Yang Hongwu could use the Dharma, Eye of Annihilation to destroy the origin of this world, and then use the devouring furnace to devour the origin power to improve his cultivation. Therefore, Yang Hongwu wasn't worried at all. Instead, he was looking forward to it. If it was really as Luli said, it couldn't be better. Of course, Yang Hongwu also knew that this possibility was too small. Bohai didn't have the guts to deceive him. In fact, this martial steel has another function, which is to identify whether it's a mutant dragon, which is an outlier. Once an outlier is found, it will activate the special power of the martial steel. Bo-Hai continued to explain, young master and Miss Li have the bloodline of dragons, so naturally, they won't be outliers. Oh, isn't this Bo-Hai? Trash like you also came to sign up for the Scream Genius competition? Just as Yang Hongwu and the others were about to leave, they heard a voice. Bo-Hai's face changed. He didn't expect to meet Bo-Yi at this time. Bo-Yi was his cousin and also his sworn enemy. They had always been at odds with each other. However, Bo-Yi's talent and bloodline were several levels higher than Bo-Hai's, and his talent was also much higher. If not for this, Bo-Hai wouldn't have left Shug City. Bo-Hai's family was also a big family. However, for their family, if the bloodline level was too low, they would be sent away. The lower the bloodline level, the more remote the place they would be sent away. Bo-Hai was one of them. Young master, he is Bo-Yi, my younger cousin and also my sworn enemy. The reason I was sent to such a faraway place is also because of him, Bo-Hai said. This time, I'm afraid I've caused trouble for young master. Bo-Hai was worried that Yang Hongwu would be angry, so he explained. After all, this was a critical moment. If something went wrong, Yang Hongwu wouldn't let him go. Bo-Hai didn't want any accidents to happen, but he just had to meet Bo-Yi, that bastard. Bo-Yi was originally in Shug City. Logically speaking, Bo-Yi was a genius of the Bo family. The time to sign up naturally wouldn't be too late. Now, it was already the third day, which was also the last day, and Bo-Yi only came to sign up. This made Bo-Hai very speechless. He could only say that his luck was really bad. What he feared would happen. You don't have to explain. I know. Yang Hongwu wasn't a fool. He had seen a lot of these family brothers scheming against each other. After all, he was also like this in the past. Back then, his two brothers also hated him to the core. Bo-Yi, what I want to do is none of your business. Get out of my way. Bo-Hai said, a trash like you wants to sign up for the genius competition? Aren't you afraid of embarrassing the Bo family? Bo-Yi said coldly, how can it be none of my business? If a piece of trash like you were to participate in the genius competition and embarrass our Bo clan, it would not be a good thing for our Bo clan. Therefore, I really have to get involved in this matter. You. Bo-Hai was furious. Bo-Yi, what do you mean by this? You're going too far. At this moment, Bo-Hai's entire body was trembling. His face was red, and his eyes were wide open. The flames of anger were burning. Clearly, he was angered by Bo-Yi, so angry that his lungs were about to explode. Hateful, too hateful. He had already been forced to such a state and sent to such a remote place, but Bo-Yi still wouldn't let him go. If it weren't for him, he wouldn't have met Yang Hongwu, and he wouldn't have been reduced to a slave. This time, Bo-Yi was still provoking him. Bo-Hai's anger was burning, and his hatred was about to burst through the sky. Boom! With a muffled sound, Bo-Hai's cultivation broke through. Yang Hongwu was also surprised. He looked at Bo-Hai. At this moment, Bo-Hai's eyes were red. His bloodline power was rising. Chapter 1488. Bloodline Evolution. Bo-Yi, you deserve to die. Bo-Hai's eyes were bloodshot as he threw a punch at Bo-Yi. Bam! Bo-Yi stretched out his hand to block the attack. He jumped in fright and shouted, You're crazy. Bo-Hai, are you crazy? How dare you attack me here? What was this place? This was the City Lord's mansion below the Martial Path Steel. If he attacked here, he would be disqualified from the genius meet. As the most outstanding genius of the Bo family, Bo-Yi had a high chance of obtaining one of the 4 spots. If he was disqualified here, he would be in deep trouble. At this moment, Bo-Yi was very regretful. Why had he provoked this piece of trash for no reason? He hadn't expected that because of his provocation, Bo-Hai's bloodline would evolve and his cultivation level would break through. This made him speechless. This was simply lifting a rock and smashing it on his own feet. Originally, with Bo-Hai's aptitude, he wouldn't have been sent to such a faraway place. It was because of him that the family had sent Bo-Hai to such a faraway place. This was also to curry favor with him. However, Bo-Hai's bloodline had actually evolved and his cultivation level had broken through because of his provocation. This was different. A low-grade bloodline was very difficult to change. However, if a bloodline had evolved, it would be very rare. Some people's bloodline would evolve more than once. After the first time, it could happen a second time. This type of person was a true bloodline evolution. Their bloodline had become even more advanced, unlike the outliers. The outliers were the disappearance of the dragon's bloodline and the emergence of other bloodlines. Unlike the outliers, this type of bloodline evolution wasn't rejected by the dragons. Instead, it was valued by the dragons. This was because their bloodline had the possibility of continuously evolving. It could even evolve into the ancestral dragon bloodline. If they could become the ancestral dragon bloodline, it would be the most important thing for the dragons. The bloodline of the dragons was getting worse with each generation. If one's aptitude wasn't good enough and their strength didn't increase, then the bloodline of a family would constantly be diluted and their bloodline grade would constantly drop. In the end, it was even possible for them to become pseudo-dragons. The so-called pseudo-dragons were low-grade dragons. Although they also had the bloodline of the dragons, the power of their bloodline was very thin. Their aptitude was very low, and they had almost lost their intelligence. They were lizards without intelligence. This was what the entire dragons were worried about. The higher-ups of the dragons had to admit that the bloodline of the dragons was constantly declining. It was very difficult to maintain it, let alone evolve. In fact, this bloodline grade was constantly being diluted, and the speed of its decline was very slow, but it still existed. Now, the bloodline of the dragons. The decrease in the number of large clans was due to the decrease in the number of high-level dragons. Because of this, the dragons whose bloodline had evolved had a very high status. Even if some dragons with low-grade bloodlines had the ability to evolve, they still had a very high status. Some of the big families, and even the royal family, might pay a huge price to rope in these dragons. Damn it! Bo Yi's eyes flashed coldly. Although Bo Hai's strength had increased and his bloodline had evolved, there was still a huge gap between them. Kill him. Kill him now. As long as he killed him, no one would know about his bloodline evolution. Bo Yi's heart exploded with a shocking, murderous intent. However, he knew that it was not advisable to kill someone here. What kind of place was this? This was the City Lord's mansion under the martial steel. Killing someone here was definitely a serious crime. It was a provocation to the City Lord and a great disrespect to the martial steel. Therefore, if he wanted to kill someone, he couldn't do it here. Bo Hai, do you dare to fight me outside? Bo Yi asked. Why wouldn't I dare? Bo Hai had lost his mind. He was so angry that he had lost his mind. How could he bear with Bo Yi's provocation? Yang Hongwu couldn't help but sigh. Bo Yi was really smart. Bo Hai, on the other hand, had lost his mind and entered a state of madness. It was the Berserk bloodline. Yang Hongwu could see that Bo Hai had activated the Berserk bloodline. If he cultivated a special cultivation technique, Bo Hai's potential was huge. He had the potential to become a half-step divine emperor. Of course, this guy still needed to get rid of his identity as a dragon. The La Liga dragons here were too obsessed with their bloodline. It was because of this that their development was limited. In fact, it wasn't just the La Liga dragons. The other dragons were the same. The bloodline power of dragons limited their development. It limited their growth. It was undeniable that with the bloodline of dragons, one's cultivation speed was very fast. Their strength was very domineering. Compared to ordinary warriors, they were much stronger. It was because of this that there were many strong dragons. Although there weren't many dragons, there were many masters. Generally speaking, as long as they grew up, they could become masters. However, although there were many masters in the dragons, there were too few supreme masters. For example, there were many more supreme masters in the human race than in the dragons. In the La Liga dragon region, why were the dragons more likely to become supreme masters than the real dragons? It was because they had broken free from the shackles of their bloodline. Without the shackles of their bloodline power, they gave up their bloodline and had better development. They didn't need to rely on any external forces. They relied on their own efforts. They relied on their own willpower and the strength of their beliefs. It was the strength of their heart. A true master didn't rely on the strength of their bloodline, but on their own heart. Yang Hongwu and Luli looked at each other and followed them out. Isn't that the genius of the Bo family, Bo Yi? As soon as they walked outside, they heard people talking. Yes, The genius of the Bo family, Bo E, is very strong. He is the most promising person to get into the top 4. Who is the person behind him? I know that person. He is also from the Bo family. Is he Bo Yi's cousin? His name is Bo Hai. But Bo Hai and Bo E don't get along. Also, he is different from Bo E. I heard that Bo Hai is a complete waste. Chapter 1489. City Lord, who do you think will win? I think it will be Bo E. Bo E. It's obvious that Bo Hai's talent is too poor. His bloodline rank is not high enough. How can he be a match for Bo E? A group of people were discussing. No one was optimistic about Bo Hai's chances. Yes, this time Bo Hai is in trouble. Bo E wants to kill him. It can't be. One of them was extremely shocked when he heard this and said, they're from the same clan at any rate, and they're even cousins. How could they possibly have killing intent? This is normal. That person smiled. I have seen Bo Hai before. His bloodline rank was not as high as it is now. But now, Bo Hai's bloodline rank has increased. Do you know what this means? Bloodline evolver. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air when they heard this. This is incredible. I didn't expect Bo Hai to become a bloodline evolver. His future is limitless. Exactly. This is even more impossible. Bo Hai has become a bloodline evolver. Why would Bo E want to kill him? Someone was puzzled. Think about it. If Bo Hai's identity as a bloodline evolver is exposed, who will suffer the most? That person laughed. Bo E. That person was enlightened. Indeed, Bo Yi's current identity was the heir of the Bo family. But once Bo Hai's identity as a bloodline evolver was exposed, his status would rise rapidly. He would surpass Bo E and replace him as the heir of the Bo family. There was no doubt about this. Although Bo Yi's aptitude was not bad and his talent was extremely high, compared to a bloodline evolved being, his importance was too insignificant. One had to know that although a bloodline evolver might not be strong, his role was irreplaceable. This was related to the future of the entire Dragon Clan. It can't be. If Bo Hai is a bloodline evolver, why didn't he say it himself? If my guess is correct, Bo Hai's bloodline should have just evolved. He doesn't even know it himself. Tell this news to the City Lord. There's no need to go. The City Lord should already know. The man shook his head and said, the City Lord has spies all over Shug City. The matter of Bo Hai and Bo E has already reached the City Lord's ears. If I'm not wrong, the City Lord should be arriving soon. Just as he finished speaking, a voice rang out. The City Lord has arrived. Of course, Yang Hongwu heard their conversation. What surprised Yang Hongwu was that this guy wasn't simple. He was able to deduce so many things. He was definitely a genius. His strength was not weak either to actually have first-level divine Lord Realm cultivation. If this person could be subdued, he would be a great talent. Of course, what Yang Hongwu valued was not his cultivation base, but his ability. This person was meticulous and had astonishing intelligence. He was a very rare talent, like a strategist. If he wanted to unify the West Dragon domain, it would be a very good choice. What about the man and woman behind Bo Hai? These two seem to have followed Bo Hai here. I can feel a powerful bloodline power from them. This bloodline power seems to be very terrifying. Could it be that the two of them are members of the royal family? I don't know. The person who was valued by Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes and shook his head. Come, let's go over and say hello. They walked towards Yang Hongwu. Hello, I'm Kent. He's Sumai. Can we get to know each other? Kent said. Sumai was the guy Yang Hongwu valued. Hello, I'm Hongwu. He's Luli. Yang Hongwu didn't use his original name. Are you friends with Bo Hai? Kent asked curiously. This Kent was a very friendly person. Although they had just met, he was not courteous. You guys are going to be rich. Bo Hai is a bloodline evolver and is valued by the City Lord. I really envy you. Yang Hongwu smiled and didn't care. With the arrival of the City Lord, the battle between Bo E and Bo Hai would probably end here. On the other side, the battle between Bo E and Bo Hai was very intense. It had only just started, but it had already reached its climax. Bo E had originally wanted to kill Bo Hai as quickly as possible to prevent any undue delay. However, he had not expected Bo Hai to suddenly explode. His strength had increased by quite a bit, and his combat strength had also become extremely shocking. Although Bo Yi's cultivation was much higher than Bo Hai's, and his bloodline was also much higher, he couldn't kill Bo Hai in a short time. When he heard that the city lord had arrived, his heart skipped a beat. He had a bad premonition. Kill. Bo Yi's eyes shot out a cold light. He had to kill Bo Hai as soon as possible. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to kill him later. Stop. When Bo Yi unleashed his killing move, City Lord Su Long shouted to stop the battle. However, Bo Yi wouldn't let go of such an opportunity. He had to kill Bo Hai. Bo Yi's strength was very strong. When he unleashed his full power, Bo Hai was instantly sent flying. He wasn't a match for Bo Yi at all. Although Bo Hai had unleashed his strength, the power of the Berserk bloodline was too thin. The time he could activate the Berserk state was too short. Therefore, once the Berserk state disappeared, Bo Hai was far from being a match for Bo Yi. Seeing that Bo Hai was about to die in Bo Yi's hands, Yang Hongwu was ready to attack. At this moment, City Lord Su Long moved. His eyes shot out a cold light as he shouted, "How dare you!" His entire body turned into a bolt of lightning and instantly appeared on the stage. He threw out a punch and heavily bombarded Bo Yi's war saber. Bo Yi was sent flying. Puffed. Although Bo Yi's strength wasn't bad, it was only compared to the younger generation. To someone like City Lord Su Long, he was too weak. As the City Lord of Shug City, Su Long's strength was incomparable. He had already reached the pinnacle of the monarch god realm. He was far from what Bo Yi could compare to. Su Long had held back in this attack. Otherwise, this punch would have been enough to kill Bo Yi. However, although it didn't kill Bo Yi, this punch had severely injured him. Why didn't the City Lord kill Bo Yi? Kent said he wanted to kill Bo Hai. You should know that Bo Hai is a bloodline evolver. If he dares to kill a bloodline evolver, it wouldn't be too much to kill him. Chapter 1490. Confidence. At this time, Bo Hai also woke up. Knowing that he had almost been killed, Bo Hai's heart palpitated. He had almost died in Bo Yi's hands. Careless, too careless. How could he be so easily angered? Fortunately, the City Lord had arrived in time. Thank you, City Lord. Bo Hai immediately got up and bowed to Su Long. He looked at Yang Hongwu and Lu Li, hesitating. With the City Lord here, it wouldn't be easy for Yang Hongwu to deal with him, right? Bo Hai was a little displeased that Yang Hongwu didn't do anything. After all, he had pledged allegiance to Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu didn't even help his subordinates when they were in danger. One could imagine the resentment in his heart. Plus, he was forced by Yang Hongwu. Seeing Bo Hai's eyes, Yang Hongwu smiled faintly. He didn't care at all. Yang Hongwu didn't care about Bo Hai's thoughts. Would he dare? Seeing Yang Hongwu's eyes, Bo Hai's heart skipped a beat. He immediately dismissed his original thoughts. Although he knew that his cultivation had broken through and his bloodline had evolved, it was also because of this that he felt Yang Hongwu's terror and strength. He even suspected that his bloodline evolution and cultivation breakthrough might have something to do with Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu and Lu Li's bloodline rank was too terrifying. It was far from what he could compare to. Even City Lord Su Long couldn't compare. You're welcome. Su Long was surprised to see Bo Hai so polite and courteous. He wasn't nervous in front of him at all. As the lord of a city, many of the young geniuses were in awe when they saw him. However, Bo Hai wasn't afraid at all. He wasn't nervous at all, which made him very satisfied, as expected of a bloodline evolver. I'll leave him to you. Su Long patted him on the shoulder. Bo Hai glanced at Bo Yi, who had been severely injured by the City Lord. He sighed and said, "Thank you, City Lord. He is my cousin after all. Please let him go." "All right." Su Long nodded and gestured for the people who were about to capture Bo Yi to retreat. "You know why I'm here, right?" City Lord Su Long looked at Bo Hai. "Of course I do." Bo Hai nodded. He would be a fool if he didn't know this. Given his status as an exiled person, it was impossible for Su Long, the City Lord, to lower his status. The City Lord Su Long had rushed here in a hurry because his bloodline had just evolved. "Bo Hai, you're a smart man, so I won't say much. This isn't the place to talk. Come with me," City Lord Su Long said. Bo Hai nodded and said, "City Lord, I have two friends. Since they're your friends, let's go together." Su Long looked at Yang Hongwu and Lu Li and found that their bloodline power was very high. It was not weaker than his at all. He was very surprised and nodded. Yang Hongwu and Su Mai nodded and followed Bo Hai into the City Lord mansion. Please wait here for a moment. I have some things to discuss with Bo Hai. Su Long was very polite to Yang Hongwu and Lu Li. Their bloodlines were very high, so Su Long couldn't ignore them. If it were other dragons with low bloodlines, Su Long wouldn't even care. City Lord, you don't have to worry about us, Yang Hongwu said. Excuse me, Su Long said and walked into a courtyard with Bo Hai. Yang Hongwu didn't care about this. Bo Hai couldn't escape from his hands. As for City Lord Su Long, he was indeed very strong. He was at the peak of the monarch god realm. If they really fought, Yang Hongwu wasn't afraid. If the other party wasn't a dragon, Yang Hongwu wouldn't dare to be careless. However, he was a dragon. TSK. Moreover, in the West Dragon region, the bloodline power of dragons was very strict. The suppression of the bloodline power was even more terrifying. If his true dragon bloodline burst out, there probably wouldn't be many people who could resist it. Of course, Yang Hongwu still had a backup plan, just in case. That was the Dragon Gate. The Dragon Gate was a treasure that belonged to dragons. It had a great restraining effect on dragons. Not only that, Yang Hongwu also specially refined some talismans. These talismans were the Dragon Suppression Talismans. Coupled with the Hong Meng Saber Suppression, in this world, Yang Hongwu didn't have to worry about ordinary monarch god realm warriors. Only experts like Su Long could cause trouble for Yang Hongwu. However, an expert like Su Long was a city lord. He was a top-notch expert. Such experts were definitely not cabbages. There weren't many of them. Brother, that Bo Hai seems to have a rebellious heart, Lu Li said. It doesn't matter. Yang Hongwu smiled and didn't care. He said, he doesn't dare and he doesn't have the guts to do so. But it's different now. He has City Lord Su Long as his backer. I'm afraid that's not the case anymore. Lu Li said worriedly, Su Long is very strong. Even if we join forces, we may not be his match. Moreover, this is Shug City. If he uses the power of this city, it'll be even more terrifying. He can even kill half-step divine emperors. Although the difference between the peak of the divine monarch realm and the half-step divine emperor realm was only one realm, the difference between the two was like heaven and earth. A half-step divine emperor warrior could kill 10 or more peak divine monarchs. Haha, Lu Li, you're worrying too much. In fact, it's because of this city that I'm not worried. Yang Hongwu laughed. When Yang Hongwu entered Shug City, he felt the power of this ancient city. In fact, there was a huge formation in this city. This formation was very powerful and could mobilize the power of the entire city. If it was fully unleashed, it would be as terrifying as a divine emperor's attack. This kind of power was not invincible in this world, but it was also very terrifying. Except for divine emperors, very few people could resist it. As a powerful formation master, Yang Hongwu had discovered it at the beginning. Moreover, he had unknowingly tampered with the formation. If they really wanted to attack him, then Yang Hongwu could mobilize the power of this city to deal with them. This was the reason why Yang Hongwu was so confident. If Bo Hai didn't know what was good for him, and if Su Long wanted to attack him, he would definitely give them an unforgettable lesson. Brother, do you have any powerful trump cards? Lu Li asked quickly. Chapter 1491. Holy Dragon Steel. Brother, you're saying that there's a huge formation in Shug City? That's right. Yang Hongwu nodded and said, that's right. The Shug City's array formation is already under my control. If they know what's good for them, then it's fine. If they don't know what's good for them, then they can only die. When Yang Hongwu said this, a terrifying cold light burst out from his eyes. He didn't hide his killing intent at all. Not long after, they saw Bo Hai and Su Long come out. At this time, Bo Hai's face was full of glory. Similarly, Su Long was also very happy. A bloodline evolver was found in Shug City. Moreover, there were two young geniuses with very powerful bloodlines. How could Su Long not be excited and happy? In this way, Shug City's 4 places, 3 of them did not need to be selected and were decided. Young Master. When Bo Hai saw Yang Hongwu, his mood was very complicated. However, he still knew his limits and respectfully bowed to Yang Hongwu. Yes. Yang Hongwu nodded. It seemed that Bohai didn't say anything. Little brother Hongwu, Miss Lu Li, you came to participate in my Shug City's Genius Assembly because you want to enter our dragon's holy land and dragon-raising pond, right? Su Long said. That's right. Yang Hongwu nodded and didn't deny it. Yang Hongwu saw that Bohai's mood didn't change drastically. He knew that at least Bohai hadn't betrayed him yet. As for whether there were signs, Yang Hongwu could still see. Bohai's heart was very tangled, but he was also very afraid of Yang Hongwu. Therefore, before he had absolute confidence, he didn't dare to reveal his matter. Yang Hongwu didn't care about this. He looked at Su Long and said, I wonder if City Lord can give us this opportunity. If you two join my Shug City, then you'll be family. I can give this place to you. Su Long's words made Yang Hongwu and Lu Li very surprised. Wasn't this too easy? What did Su Long mean? She actually agreed to give him a spot so easily, and two at that. One had to know that in the entire Shug City, there were only 4 people who had entered the Dragon Pond to cultivate. Now that 2 of them had come out, it was too unreasonable. My Lord City Lord, with all due respect, why did my Lord City Lord give the spot to us? Asked Yang Hongwu. Huh? Su Long laughed. Who do you think I, Su Long, am? Although my cultivation isn't that great and can't be considered top-notch, in this world, there's absolutely no one who has better eyesight than me. Su Long's words revealed his absolute confidence. The dragon tribe bloodline in your bodies is too strong, too high level. Besides, it hasn't been fully awakened yet. If it was fully awakened, your bloodline power would be even stronger than the Dragon Emperor's. Therefore, what's a mere 2 spots? Even if our Shug City doesn't give it to you, other cities will give it to you. Su Long was a smart man. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to sit on the position of City Lord. If the 2 of you become people of my Shug City, then when the 2 of you grow up and shine brilliantly in the future, even dominating a region, I, Su Long, and my little Shug City will also be proud. Since my Lord City Lord has said so, if I don't know what's good for me, then I'll look down on my Lord City Lord. Yang Hongwu nodded. I'll remember my Lord City Lord's kindness and will definitely repay it in the future. It's all right, it's all right. Since the 2 of you are willing to join my Shug City, then you're family. In fact, the 4 spots of my Shug City are generally a waste. It's only 1 spot. If little brother Hongwu really wants to enter the Dragon Pond to cultivate, it doesn't mean that just getting a spot is enough. If you want to enter the Dragon Pond to cultivate, you must pass the test and the genius assembly of our entire dragon world. Su Long said, this spot is only a spot to enter the Holy Land. If you want to enter the Dragon Pond to cultivate, you still need to compete? Yang Hongwu slightly frowned. He didn't have much time. That's right. Su Long nodded. That's right. That's all right. Yang Hongwu said, it's just a matter of time. In fact, for Yang Hongwu, as long as he could enter the so-called Holy Land of the Dragons, it was enough. Once he knew the location, he would achieve his goal. Haha, little brother Hongwu is really confident. However, I also believe in little brother Hongwu's strength. Su Long was very happy and laughed loudly. With little brother Hongwu and Miss Lu Li's strength, the champion of this world's Dragon's Genius Assembly will definitely be little brother Hongwu. Thank you for your auspicious words, my Lord City Lord. Yang Hongwu said, let's go. I'll take you to a good place. Su Long said. Yang Hongwu and Lu Li looked at each other and followed behind Su Long. Bohai was no exception. The group of 4 soon arrived in front of an ancient gate. My Lord City Lord, where is this place? Yang Hongwu felt that this ancient gate was filled with powerful energy. It was indeed shocking. This is the most important place in our Shug City. Su Long said, it's also where our Shug City's foundation lies. The reason why Shug City can stand in the dragon world for so many years is because of the existence of this place. My Lord City Lord, could this be the legendary Holy Dragon Steel of Shug City? Bohai was pleasantly surprised and asked, that's right. This is where our Shug City's Holy Dragon Steel is located. Su Long nodded and said, the Holy Dragon Steel is the most important and precious thing in our Shug City. It can activate the high-level bloodline in our dragons. The higher the bloodline, the more terrifying the strength after being activated by the holy dragon steel. Yang Hongwu became even more curious. Could this so-called holy dragon steel be related to the dragon sect? However, if it was really related to the dragon sect, he should be able to sense it. Since he couldn't sense it, this so-called holy dragon steel had nothing to do with the dragon sect. Looking at Su Long and Bo Hai's expressions, this holy dragon steel seemed to be very powerful and important. It was definitely a very precious treasure. Chapter 1492. The Aura of Creation. There are two conditions to enter the sacred dragon tablet to cultivate. One is to have a sufficiently high bloodline rank. The other is to comprehend the runes on the sacred dragon tablet. Both conditions are indispensable. Therefore, although Shug City has a supreme treasure like the sacred dragon tablet, we have not produced many powerful individuals. It is because of this reason that it is too difficult to enter the sacred dragon tablet to cultivate and activate one supreme bloodline. Su Long looked at Yang Hongwu and the rest as he said, "The three of you are the ones I value the most. You are also the ones who have the highest hopes of entering the sacred dragon tablet to cultivate." City Lord, are you saying that we can enter the sacred dragon tablet to cultivate? Bohai was extremely excited. This was the holy dragon steel. As a member of the Bo clan, he had naturally heard of the holy dragon steel. However, he had never seen the real holy dragon steel. The holy dragon steel was in the hands of the city lord, and only the city lord was qualified to open it, just like the martial Dao steel. Now, he had obtained the opportunity to comprehend the sacred dragon tablet, and even had the opportunity to enter the sacred dragon tablet space to cultivate. How could he not be surprised? In the past, he had not even dared to think about this. However, he was still a little worried. Although he was a bloodline evolver, his bloodline rank was not high. Compared to Bo Yi, who had almost been killed by Yang Hongwu, his bloodline was much lower. If not, he would not have been suppressed by Bo Yi and the family. That's right. However, I've already said that whether you can obtain this supreme opportunity will depend on yourselves. If you can't grab hold of this opportunity and enter the sacred dragon tablet to cultivate, then don't blame me. Su Long waved his hand and said, "Come, let's go in." The group passed through the ancient door. A huge ancient tablet appeared in front of them. This ancient tablet was like a mountain. It towered into the clouds, and its peak could not be seen. This huge ancient tablet was filled with mysterious power. The entire ancient tablet seemed to be shrouded by a fog, making it difficult to see clearly. Even if one was right in front of the ancient tablet, they could not see clearly what was written on it. Is this the holy dragon steel? Looking at the monolith in front of him, Bo Hai's heart was filled with shock. He was completely stunned by this monolith. It was the same for Yang Hanwu. Even though he was knowledgeable and had seen many supreme treasures, he was still stunned by what he was seeing. This gigantic ancient monument, even he couldn't see through it. The energy contained within it was mysterious and ancient. The runes engraved on the monument were extremely profound. This energy seemed to contain the supreme great Tao, as well as the laws of heaven and earth. Yang Hongwu had an indescribable feeling. If he could comprehend this ancient tablet, it would be the same as comprehending the creation. Yang Hongwu was startled. Looking at the ancient monument in front of him, his heart was filled with shock. Unknowingly, he was shocked by this ancient monument. Creation, this ancient tablet indeed, contained the supreme great Tao of creation. It was rumored that the countless universe planes in the void originated from the ancient fortune gate. However, no one knew the origin of the ancient fortune gate or when it had appeared. The greater thousand universe planes were formed by the divine objects that had been ejected from the fortune gate. As for whether this was true or not, no one knew. However, there was one thing that was absolutely certain. The great Tao of creation was incomparably mysterious and was the strongest force in the universe. If there was anyone who could truly comprehend the power of creation, they would become a supreme existence. Yang Hongwu looked at the holy dragon steel before him. This ancient monument contained the aura of creation. Perhaps this ancient monument was related to the fortune gate. The few treasures that Yang Hongwu had obtained all contained the aura of creation. One was the scroll of creation, another was the life seal, and the last one was the dragon gate. These three items were definitely tainted with the aura of creation. This was something that Yang Hongwu was 100% sure of. Of course, there were other items. As for the other treasures, no one knew. This holy dragon steel contains the supreme law. If one could comprehend a little of it, he would benefit immensely for the rest of his life. Su Long said, "It's a pity that my aptitude is too shallow and my talent is too poor. After so many years, I have not been able to comprehend the supreme law contained in the holy dragon steel. In fact, I haven't even comprehended a trace of it. I'm ashamed, truly ashamed." Su Long was also very depressed in his heart. He was certain that if he could comprehend the supreme law contained in the holy dragon steel, he would be able to break through the shackles and become a deity emperor. However, after so many years, he had not been able to take that step. However, Su Long looked at Yang Hongwu and Lu Li with a burning gaze. "Little brother Hongwu, Miss Lu Li, your bloodline power is of the highest grade among all the people that I have seen. You are also the most outstanding geniuses that I have ever seen. I believe that you should be able to comprehend something from the holy dragon steel." Yang Hongwu looked at Su Long. Yang Hongwu was very clear about the preciousness of the ancient steel. If he had not seen it before, Yang Hongwu would not have known how amazing the holy dragon steel was. Now that he had seen it, he was even more shocked. Comprehending the holy dragon steel was like comprehending the creation. In fact, it was too difficult to comprehend it. Of course, even if it was impossible to comprehend the creation, one could still comprehend something from the ancient steel. As long as one could comprehend a little bit, one would be able to benefit immensely. This was enough to prove the true power of the holy dragon steel. It was precisely because of this that Yang Hongwu was extremely wary of the sacred dragon monument. Why would Su Long share such a supreme treasure with him? Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes and thought to himself that there must be a conspiracy. If anyone else had such a treasure, they would be afraid that others would know and hide it. However, Su Long acted as if he was afraid that others would not know. As for what Su Long had said before, Yang Hongwu did not dare to agree. How could a powerhouse that could become a city lord be so simple? Yang Hongwu was not Bo Hai, nor was he Lu Li. Bo Hai trusted Su Long very much and was very grateful. If not for the previous deterrence, Bo Hai would have already told Su Long everything. As for Lu Li, she was still too naive. Although she had recovered some of her ancient inherited memories, it was difficult to change her personality. "I have a presumptuous request." Su Long looked at Yang Hongwu and said. Chapter 1493. Another breakthrough in cultivation. This may be a little presumptuous, but I have to say that I hope you can share your comprehension of the sacred dragon steel with me, Su Long said. Yang Hongwu's eyes narrowed. This request was really a presumptuous one. All right. Yang Hongwu hesitated for a moment, but still nodded. He knew that if he did not agree, Su Long would not let him comprehend the sacred dragon steel. Yang Hongwu did not want to fall out with Su Long at this time. If I really comprehend something, I will naturally not be stingy and record it down. When the time comes, you can comprehend it yourself. Good, that's great. Su Long was pleasantly surprised. This request was indeed very excessive. If Yang Hongwu was unwilling, he would not force it. However, to his surprise, Yang Hongwu actually agreed to his request. This made him feel incredulous. Time's up. You guys comprehend the sacred dragon steel here. I will wait outside. Remember, you only have 3 days. After 3 days, regardless of whether you comprehend it or not, you will have to leave. Otherwise, you will not be able to make it in time for the competition, Su Long said. Thank you, City Lord. I will not let you down, Yang Hongwu said. After Su Long left, Yang Hongwu and the other two exchanged glances and came before the ancient steel. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath, almost having the urge to summon the girls. However, he restrained himself in the end. What a joke. If he let the girls out at this time, who knew what kind of changes would occur? This was such an important place. Yang Hongwu did not believe that Su Long had not left some sort of backup plan. Therefore, it would not be wise to summon the girls here. After casting these thoughts away, Yang Hongwu quickly entered a tranquil state without any distracting thoughts. Yang Hongwu did not look at the runes on the sacred dragon steel. Instead, he calmed himself down. Unknowingly, a mysterious aura erupted from Yang Hongwu's body. This mysterious aura triggered a special power. This special power was a supreme creation aura. The power of creation, the aura of creation. Although this strand of creation chi was very thin, just a strand of it, it was very mysterious and shocking. Bohai was stunned when he saw this scene. Yang Hongwu was currently shrouded in a seven-colored light, as if he was an unparalleled powerhouse. His surroundings were actually the same as the holy dragon steel, blurry and unclear. However, there was one thing that was certain. The sage dragon steel had released a mysterious light that enveloped Yang Hongwu. Moreover, he could clearly sense that Yang Hongwu's aura was constantly rising, and his cultivation was constantly increasing. Although this process was very slow, compared to others, this speed was already very astonishing. What was important was not the increase in cultivation base, but that Yang Hongwu seemed to have comprehended the mysteries of the sacred dragon steel. It was even possible that he had obtained the legacy of the sacred dragon steel. This was the sacred dragon steel. At this moment, Bohai was jealous. He even wanted to take action and kill Yang Hongwu. Damn it! Bohai was shocked when he thought of this. He hurriedly cast this thought away. How could he have such thoughts? He had actually gone mad. Bohai took a deep breath. Fortunately, he had awakened in time. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. On the other side, Luli had also entered an ethereal state like Yang Hongwu. However, Luli did not trigger the creation aura like Yang Hongwu. Nevertheless, it was no small matter. The spiritual chi in the surroundings condensed. Luli's body erupted with an astonishing pressure. This terrifying pressure was the pressure of the bloodline of dragons. Even Bohai could not get close. Bohai smiled bitterly. What was the background of this man and woman? It was too terrifying. If he had taken action just now, he would have died. Bohai was now only envious. As for taking action against Yang Hongwu, it was simply courting death. No wonder he did not need to make a heavenly blood oath. He had the strength. Not to mention himself, he probably did not even care about the entire Shug City. The only people who could make him wary were probably experts at the level of the Dragon Emperor. He did not know how terrifying the forces behind him were. After putting all these thoughts aside, he began to cultivate. This was the sacred dragon steel. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If he missed it, how could there be such a good thing in the future? Even if he was a bloodline evolver, he might not have such benefits in the future. He even suspected that this opportunity to comprehend the sacred dragon steel was related to Yang Hongwu and Luli. Soon, Bohai also slowly entered a state of enlightenment. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Yang Hongwu opened his eyes. He found that his cultivation had broken through to the 8th level of the Great Emperor realm. Who would have thought that after comprehending a bit here, his cultivation would actually make a breakthrough? As for entering the space of the sacred dragon steel, as long as Yang Hongwu was willing, he could enter now. Time's up. At this time, Su Long walked in. Bohai and Luli also opened their eyes. How is it? Brother Hongwu, what did you comprehend from the sacred dragon steel? Su Long asked. A part of the cultivation technique. Yang Hongwu said. Cultivation technique? Good, haha, good. How many years has it been? How many years has it been? No one has been able to comprehend a cultivation technique from the sacred dragon steel. I did not expect Brother Hongwu to comprehend a cultivation technique on his first try. Congratulations, congratulations. Su Long was overjoyed. The cultivation technique comprehended from the sacred dragon steel was definitely incomparably powerful. A long time ago, there were also people who had comprehended a cultivation technique. This cultivation technique was definitely incomparably powerful. When cultivated to the complete realm, one could break through the shackles and become a divine emperor. However, It was a pity that this cultivation technique could only be cultivated by those who had comprehended it. Others would not be able to cultivate it successfully, let alone reach the complete realm. Although they could not cultivate it, they could still use it as a reference. He had been stuck in this realm for many years. Perhaps he could use Hongwu's cultivation technique to break through the shackles and become a half-step divine emperor. As for breaking through to the divine emperor realm, it was too difficult. It was definitely not easy to achieve. If he could break through to the half-step divine emperor realm, it would be a great opportunity. He did not dare to ask for too much. Chapter 1494. 10,000 years divine medicine. What a mysterious cultivation method. So that's how it is. That's how it is. Su Long returned the jade slip to Yang Hongwu and said, "Thank you. Although I can't practice this cultivation technique, it's very helpful to me." Su Long's cultivation had reached its limit. He only needed an opportunity to break through. He couldn't find an opportunity to break through until now. After reading the cultivation technique that Yang Hongwu gave him, he finally understood that the reason why he couldn't break through was because his body wasn't strong enough. His cultivation and magic power were strong enough, and his cultivation level was high enough. It wasn't that his aptitude wasn't good enough. The reason why he couldn't break through was because his body wasn't strong enough. Therefore, he just needed to polish his body and make it strong enough to break through the bottleneck and enter the half-step divine emperor realm. He even had the hope to break through to the divine emperor realm. Unfortunately, he understood it too late. If he had understood it earlier, he would have had the chance to break through to the divine emperor realm. But now, it was much more difficult. It's just a small matter. Yang Hongwu was quite depressed. In fact, he couldn't tell Su Long about his opportunity. However, if he didn't give Su Long something, Su Long wouldn't believe him. Therefore, Yang Hongwu simplified the immortal dragon body cultivation technique and added something to it. However, Su Long just glanced at it and didn't practice it. This made Yang Hongwu speechless. What made him even more annoyed was that Su Long seemed to have comprehended something from the incomplete cultivation technique. It seemed to be very helpful to him. "It's just a small matter for you. But for me, it's a big favor. Brother, you don't know that I've been stuck in this realm for many years. Before I became the city lord of Shug City, I had already reached this realm. Now, after so many years, I'm still stuck in this realm. If it wasn't for your help, I don't know how long I would be stuck in this realm. Maybe even for my whole life," Su Long said with a smile. Then, Su Long took out something and gave it to Yang Hongwu. "Brother, this is a small token of my gratitude. Please accept it." Yang Hongwu looked at it and his eyes widened. 10,000 years divine medicine, holy dragon grass. This was actually a 10,000-year-old divine herb, and it was the legendary holy dragon grass. Bohai, who was standing aside, couldn't believe his eyes. He didn't expect the city lord to take out such a divine medicine. The holy dragon grass was extremely precious. It could be said to be a legendary elixir. After consuming the holy dragon grass, it could purify the power of one's bloodline. Depending on the physique, it could enhance the bloodline of the dragon clan. Generally speaking, it could enhance the bloodline of the dragon clan by at least one grade. It's too precious. Yang Hongwu's Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu's 1,000 dragon grass. No. This holy dragon grass is no longer useful to me. I don't have any children or disciples. Therefore, it's best to give this holy dragon grass to you. Moreover, I am indebted to you. A holy dragon grass is nothing to me. In reality, the Saint Dragon Grass was indeed useless to Su Long because he had already used it. Back then, he had obtained 2 Saint Dragon Grasses. He had consumed one of them, which increased the power of his bloodline, but he had kept the other one until now. If Yang Hongwu hadn't given him the opportunity to break through the shackles and break through to the divine emperor realm, he wouldn't have taken out this holy dragon grass. When one's cultivation reached his level, there was a karmic relationship. If there was a karmic relationship, it would be a restriction for him to break through to the divine emperor realm. After severing the karmic relationship, it would be easier to break through. This was also the reason why some experts wouldn't take action after reaching a certain level of cultivation. These experts generally stayed in seclusion and focused on cultivation. They would only come out of seclusion as a last resort. This was the reason behind this. This is way too precious. Furthermore, if it weren't for you, City Lord, allowing us to comprehend the Sage Dragon Tablet, I wouldn't have been able to comprehend this skill. Therefore, everything has its own destiny. Yang Hongwu still refused. No matter what, brother, you have to accept it. If you don't accept it, I won't let you go to the genius competition. Su Long said firmly. Yang Hongwu couldn't believe it. Don't hesitate, brother. Are you looking down on me, a mere city lord? Although I know that you can enter the holy land of dragons and enter the dragon pond to cultivate without relying on me, Su Long said. The reason why I took out this holy dragon grass is actually because of my own selfishness. First, I want you to feel a sense of belonging to Shug City. In the future, when you become successful, don't forget about Shug City. Second, it's karmic relationship. I received your cultivation technique, and it helped me break through my bottleneck. It's only a matter of time before I break through to the half-step divine emperor realm. I even have the possibility to break through to the divine emperor realm. If you don't accept this holy dragon grass, and in the karmic relationship between us, I won't be able to break through to the divine emperor realm in the future. If that's the case, I'll accept it. Yang Hongwu wasn't worried that Su Long would do something to the holy dragon grass. Looking at Su Long's sincere expression, if this was all an act in order to scheme against him, then there was nothing to say about his acting skills. Good, very good. Su Long was very happy. Today, let's drink until we're drunk. Then, Su Long waved his hand and asked the servants to prepare the banquet. Time flew. In the blink of an eye, it was the second day. Yang Hongwu received a holy dragon grass and kept it. Yang Hongwu was still hesitating whether to use this holy dragon grass for alchemy or to cultivate it. It was a good choice to cultivate it in the Dragon Gate. In that way, not only could the Dragon Gate be restored, but he could also obtain a special spiritual field. It would be good for his future development. If it was used for alchemy, it could improve Lu Li's cultivation. Of course, it would also be helpful for Yang Hongwu. His cultivation would definitely improve by a few levels. In the end, Yang Hongwu kept the holy dragon grass. As for whether to cultivate it or to use it for alchemy, he would think about it later. Chapter 1495. Without scruples on this day, Su Ge brought along Yang Hongwu and the other two. There was also a guy called Xianyi. This guy's name was quite domineering. It was the same name as an emperor that Yang Hongwu knew on Earth. However, this guy seemed to be very unhappy with Yang Hongwu and Lu Li. As for Bo Hai, he didn't have any prejudice. After all, Bo Hai was a bloodline evolver. His status was very high. He wasn't someone that he could compare to. As for Yang Hongwu and Lu Li, Xianyi thought that the city lord had specially given up 2 spots in order to win over Bo Hai. Even though he knew that it was a waste, he still had to give it up. It was something that couldn't be helped. In this regard, Xianyi naturally had conflicting thoughts towards Yang Hongwu and Lu Li. They were fighting desperately outside in order to compete for the spots to go to the dragon's holy land to participate in the genius competition. The original 4 spots were suddenly reduced by 3. The intensity of the competition could be imagined. Therefore, Xianyi was disdainful towards Yang Hongwu and Lu Li. He didn't even bother with them. Yang Hongwu smiled and didn't care about it. This guy was very enthusiastic towards Bo Hai. This made Bo Hai feel flattered. Of course, he had heard of Xianyi. The Xian family was the same as their Bo family. They were also a big family in Shug City. Moreover, their strength was stronger than the Bo family. As for Xianyi, he was the most outstanding genius of the Xian family. In fact, he was also the most outstanding genius in the entire Shug City. His cultivation had already reached the peak of the Tai true God realm. Moreover, in terms of combat power, he could challenge those of a higher realm. He had defeated many level 1 divine monarch realm martial artists before. This was extremely shocking. Therefore, Xianyi's great name was not only extremely famous in Shug City, but also in the entire dragon domain. He could be considered to be ranked at the top. Therefore, when he saw that Xianyi was so enthusiastic towards him, he was really flattered. Moreover, he was worried about Yang Hongwu. After all, he was Yang Hongwu's subordinate. Moreover, Yang Hongwu controlled his life and death. Xian Yu would not give Yang Hongwu any leeway. Wasn't this a slap to Yang Hongwu's face? If he chatted with Xian Yu passionately, what if Yang Hongwu became dissatisfied? He couldn't bear Yang Hongwu's anger. But fortunately, Yang Hongwu didn't have any opinions about him, so he was relieved. However, thinking about it, what kind of person was Yang Hongwu? What kind of status did he have? Why would he care about such a trivial matter? Very quickly, the four of them arrived at the Holy Land of the Dragons. This place was truly a gathering of geniuses and experts. These geniuses did not bother to conceal their bloodline power and unleash their powerful bloodline power. Some of the weaker dragons with low-level bloodline almost couldn't breathe under the powerful bloodline pressure. Bohai's face was also a little pale. With so many geniuses releasing their bloodline pressure, he couldn't bear it. Sulong smiled and waved his hand. The pressure immediately disappeared. As for Yang Hongwu and Lu Li, this little bit of pressure was nothing at all. What a joke! The pressure of a divine emperor was nothing to him, let alone these little guys. Therefore, he didn't care at all. Xian Yi, who was with them, was also pale. If it was one-on-one, he still had confidence. But with so many geniuses releasing their bloodline pressure at the same time, he couldn't bear it. He had to admit that there were really many experts here. However, when he saw that Yang Hongwu and Lu Li didn't seem to be restricted by the pressure, his face changed. Who were these two people? As a bloodline evolver, Bohai was also very respectful in front of them. He didn't dare to say more than a few words, afraid that Yang Hongwu would be angry. Although Xian Yu was very unhappy that Yang Hongwu and Lu Li had taken the spots to enter the Holy Land of the Dragons, this wasn't something he could control. Moreover, the city lord Sulong's strength was extraordinary. Although the Xin family was strong, compared to the city lord mansion, they were still lacking. Brother Hongwu, in this competition, we need to cooperate and work together. Otherwise, I'm afraid that we won't be able to enter the dragon-raising pool to cultivate. Xian Yi said, I see that the two of you are extraordinary. If we work together, there won't be many people who can resist us. Why should I agree? Yang Hongwu said coldly. When Xian Yi heard that, he was furious. This B** start actually didn't give him any face. However, Xian Yi wasn't an ordinary person. He could still tolerate this little bit of trouble. Brother Hongwu, if you're unhappy with me, I'll apologize to you here. The qualification to enter the dragon-raising pool is very important. Brother Hongwu should know that there's no need for internal strife. Everything should be focused on obtaining the qualification to enter the dragon-raising pool. If we don't get along, and no one from Shug City can enter the dragon-raising pool, then the gains won't make up for the losses. Brother Hongwu, don't you think so? Yang Hongwu looked at Xian Yi with a smile that wasn't a smile. His face was full of ridicule. It's just a spot. If I want to go to the dragon-raising pool, who can stop me? Yang Hongwu said softly, If anyone tries to stop me, I'll kill them. If one person tries to stop me, I'll kill one person. If 10 people try to stop me, I'll kill 10 people. Anyone who tries to stop me will be killed by me. Although his tone was soft and his voice wasn't loud, it could be heard clearly. It made people feel a chill down their backs. It was as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. At this time, Xian Yi finally knew how terrifying Yang Hongwu was. He finally understood why Bohai didn't dare to say a word to Yang Hongwu and was so respectful to him. His strength was too strong, too frightening. When Yang Hongwu said those words, he felt as if his blood was about to freeze. Good, well said. Sulong laughed. Brother is right. The path of cultivation is to move forward without fear or scruples. Back then, I also participated in the genius competition and was the #1 at that time. Back then, I was the same as you, killing anyone who dared to block my path. Back then, I killed my way through and turned the sky upside down. Blood flowed like a river. Anyone who tried to stop me was killed by me. In the end, I was the only one who entered the dragon-raising pool. The others were either dead or injured. Even those who didn't die or get injured didn't dare to enter because of my deterrence. So, Brother, I support you. If you kill everyone or drive them out and monopolize the dragon-raising pool, you will have unexpected benefits. Chapter 1496. Correct. Bohai did not doubt Yang Hongwu's words at all. Yang Hongwu definitely had the strength to do so. If he really did that, then things would get out of hand. Humph. The other participants harumphed coldly when they heard Yang Hongwu's words. They were filled with disdain and contempt towards Yang Hongwu. Shug City was just an ordinary city. After Sulong, there were no more outstanding geniuses in Shug City. There were even a few years where no one was qualified to enter the dragon-raising pond. Therefore, many people did not put Yang Hongwu's words in their eyes. They treated it as a joke. Haha, Sulong, the geniuses of Shug City are really arrogant. A man walked over. He was tall and his aura was restrained. He was very strong, a half-step divine emperor expert. He was one level higher than Sulong Bruno. Sulong's face sank. He looked at him coldly and said, "Geniuses always have a temper. Moreover, Han Wu is not an ordinary genius. This time, I'm afraid no one from Boar City will enter the dragon-raising pond." Is that so? Bruno could not help but laugh when he heard that. My Boar City's genius this time is very outstanding. His cultivation has already reached the 5th layer divine monarch realm. He's even more outstanding than you in the past. This time, he'll definitely be the first. Who can compete with him? As for your Shug City, TSK, you're not that strong, but you're really arrogant. This is far inferior to you in the past. Blueno and Sulong had always been enemies. Back then, Sulong had seriously injured Blueno's younger brother, causing his younger brother to be unable to enter the dragon-raising pond. Afterward, Blueno became depressed and eventually died from chi deviation. Thus, Blueno had always hated Sulong. If it wasn't for the fact that Sulong was the city lord and controlled the power of the entire Shug City, he wouldn't have been able to kill Sulong. Bruno would have already made a move on Sulong. This time, a peerless genius had appeared in Boar City. He wanted to kill everyone in Shug City and let Sulong have a taste of his own medicine. Moreover, his plan was not only that. Other than killing all the geniuses in Shug City, he also wanted to launch a city war to annex Shug City. Don't be happy too early. The one who laughs last is the one who laughs the best. When Sulong heard Blueno say that Bull City's genius had actually reached the Middle Divine Lord realm, he was a little worried. The Middle Divine Lord realm was absolutely unique in the genius assembly. To nurture, to be able to enter the top 10 of the genius convention and enter the dragon-raising pool, to cultivate, each of these geniuses was extremely outstanding. Once they grew up, they would definitely become the top power of the entire Dragon Clan. Therefore, the Dragon Emperor attached great importance to it. It was the hope of the Dragon Realm. Of course, killing was not prohibited in the genius competition. It was also a way to nurture the geniuses. True geniuses not only had to have good aptitude and great strength. There was another important condition. Only then could they become true experts. That was to have a calm attitude. While possessing great strength, they also needed to have enough wisdom. No matter how strong they were, if they did not have wisdom and did not know when to advance or retreat, it was meaningless. They would not be able to become true geniuses. Therefore, the genius competition was an opportunity, but it was also a feast of slaughter. It was very cruel. In the genius competition, being merciful to others would often result in fatal injuries. In reality, Sulong had deeply experienced this. Back then, he had spared his opponent's life. Later on, he had almost killed him. It was also because of this that he had erupted with power and killed and crippled everyone who had participated in the competition of geniuses. Come, Blair, meet your Uncle Sulong. He was the one who killed your grandfather, Brooke. At this time, a man appeared behind Bruno. That man's aura was overflowing. He was incomparably strong. Yang Hanwu had to admit that this guy was definitely a genius. Among the young generation, he was the strongest. At least, among the young geniuses present, there was no one who could compare to him. Even Xian Yi was far too inferior when compared to him. They were not on the same level at all. Yang Hanwu could feel a strong qi on his body. If this qi burst out, it would be comparable to a peak divine monarch. It would be comparable to a half-step divine emperor. Therefore, Yang Hongwu's strength was terrifying, extremely terrifying. Edited by Lifer, Fingerfox. If Xianyi and Bo Hai fought against him, they would definitely die. Blair looked at Su Long calmly. There was no trace of anger or hatred in his eyes. When Su Long saw Blair, his expression changed slightly. However, he quickly hid it. The young man in front of him was indeed terrifying. Su Long could be said to be Blair's greatest enemy. Who would have thought that in front of him, Blair's expression didn't change at all? Such a person was the most terrifying. If he was allowed to grow up, he would definitely be incredible. Great enemy. He was definitely a great enemy. If he had not found the opportunity to break through to the half-step divine emperor realm, he would have killed Blair in the cradle. However, even though he was shocked, he was not afraid. After all, he was about to break through to the divine emperor realm. Once he successfully broke through to the divine emperor realm, coupled with Su Gucheng's strength, even a divine emperor realm expert would not be able to defeat him easily. Not to mention Blair, who had not yet grown up. Not bad. Your talent is not bad. However, don't go down the wrong path. If you choose the wrong path, there will be no turning back. Su Long said indifferently. Thank you, Senior Su Long, Blair said gently. I will remember this. Haha, Blair, if you meet Su Gucheng's people in the competition, you must use your full strength. Otherwise, you may not be their opponent. Bruno laughed and patted Blair's shoulder. Yes, Xianya's expression was somewhat heavy. If he met Blair, his strength was far from enough. Chapter 1497. Dragon's tribulation. After Bruno left with Blair, Xianyi was worried. He looked at Su Long and said, City Lord, what should we do? The opponent is so strong, we're no match for him. Xianyi pulled a long face. Although he wanted to enter the dragon-raising pool to cultivate, he would definitely die if he were to face Blair. Entering the dragon-raising pool to cultivate was important, but his life was more important. If you're afraid, you can choose to leave, Su Long said coldly. He was somewhat dissatisfied with Xianyi. Such a cowardly person would not achieve anything in the end. One should know that the secret territory of the genius competition was incomparably vast. Xianyi might not be able to catch him. Even though his cultivation level was not as high as Blair's, it was still possible for him to avoid Blair. However, Xianyi was already afraid. How could he grow stronger? If Xianyi's attitude towards Yang Hongwu and Bo Hai had been pardonable in the beginning, the current Xianyi had no value at all. If a martial artist could not recognize himself, he would not have the chance to grow. It would be difficult for him to achieve great things. Su Long sighed and looked at Yang Hongwu and the other two. He said, Let's go. The next day, everyone was gathered in a huge palace. Above the palace, there was a person sitting high up. He looked very dignified. There were many people standing around him. He stood in the middle like a moon surrounded by stars. The people around him were also very strong. The weakest one was at the peak of the divine monarch realm. Dragon Emperor. Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes. He did not expect that the Dragon Emperor would come this time. His cultivation was very terrifying, worthy of being a divine emperor expert. Compared to half-step divine emperors, they were much stronger. Yang Hongwu could not help but think of the deity domain. In the deity domain, the rulers of the 13 deity domains were very strong. They were all half-step divine emperors. However, Yang Hongwu guessed that the deity domain was not that simple. It was not that there were no divine emperors, they just hid and did not come out. If that wasn't the case, the deity domain would have long been occupied by others. This guy is very strong, and his bloodline is also very noble, Lu Li said. At this moment, the Dragon Emperor glanced around and stopped when he saw Lu Li and Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu sensed his gaze and looked up. At this moment, the Dragon Emperor shifted his gaze. This Dragon Monarch's aura made Yang Hongwu feel somewhat strange. The Dragon Emperor was actually a woman. Yang Hongwu was surprised by such a powerful woman. Today is a big day for us dragons. It's the day for us young geniuses to participate in the genius competition. This time, our young geniuses are flourishing. Compared to the previous genius competition, our young geniuses are much more outstanding. This means that our dragons are constantly rising, said the Dragon Emperor. However, we cannot be complacent. We are improving, but our enemies are also improving. The deity domain and the demon race are also becoming stronger. Even a mortal world has given birth to countless experts. Even though we dragons are strong, we do not have the advantage in terms of numbers. The divine race, the demon race, and even the human race are much more numerous than us. Therefore, this is also our disadvantage. Yang Hongwu was curious. What was the Dragon Emperor trying to say? Could it be that the Dragon Emperor wanted to implement family planning to encourage childbirth? Thinking of this, Yang Hongwu could not help but smile. Was this possible? For cultivators, the majority of them had to maintain a pure body in order to cultivate at a rapid pace. Unless it was a special technique, it was much easier and faster to cultivate with a pure body. However, if they were to give birth, it would not be beneficial for either party. Their strength would decrease, especially for the woman, whose strength would decrease tremendously. Therefore, if it was not for the sake of leaving behind descendants, ordinary experts would not care about the matters between men and women. This was also a special case among the dragons. It was the La Liga dragons. Since we do not have the advantage in terms of numbers, then we must have more experts than them. If we don't have the quantity, then we will make up for it with quality. We have more experts than them. In 100 years, the great tribulation of heaven and earth will arrive. I hope that everyone will work hard and become stronger before the great tribulation arrives. Only by becoming stronger will we have enough hope to survive. Yang Hongwu was slightly taken aback. Great tribulation? Would there be a great tribulation in this world? Well, I won't say more. This year's genius competition will be the last one before the great tribulation of heaven and earth. Therefore, this time, the dragon raising pond will be open to 20 people. As long as you enter the top 20, you will be able to enter the dragon raising pond. The person who wins first place will be qualified to enter the sacred dragon pond to cultivate. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone was stunned. The sacred dragon pond. That was the legendary sacred dragon pond. Only the Dragon Emperor was qualified to enter the sacred dragon pond. Now, the Dragon Emperor had opened up a qualification to enter the sacred dragon pond to cultivate. Could it be that the Dragon Emperor was grooming his successor? Was he grooming the next Dragon Emperor? If that was the case, then no matter what, the first place of this genius competition had to be obtained. Hearing this, many people's expressions changed. Bruno, on the other hand, was very happy. This time, Blair was the most likely to obtain the first place. Not only did Blair have the highest cultivation level, he also had a powerful trump card. He was very clear about this. If Blair used his full strength, even Bruno himself, a half-step divine emperor, might not be able to stop him. If he was caught off guard, who could stop Blair? Therefore, this time, the first place of the genius competition would definitely be Blair. It seems like the world is going to change. Su Long remained silent for a while, and then murmured, "Brother Hongwu, although I don't know your true origin, I'm afraid that this genius competition will be a bloodbath. It might even be a sign of the Great Tribulation. Originally, I thought that there would still be some time before the Great Tribulation. At that time, I would have enough time to break through to the Divine Emperor realm. But now, there isn't enough time. With your noble bloodline and the sacred dragon grass I gave you, you should be able to open the ancient dragon gate." Ancient dragon gate? Hearing this, Yang Hongwu's expression changed. His purpose of coming here this time was for the dragon sect. Could it be that he knew? Chapter 1498. Su Long's demand. Yang Hongwu was in a daze. He did not know why Su Long had told him this. Could it be that Su Long thought that he was the savior of Shi Jialong region? If that was the case, then he would be the school bell. Savior? What a joke. He was the owner of the Dharma Eye of Annihilation. It was good enough that he did not become a Terminator, let alone a savior. City Lord, why are you so pessimistic? Didn't the Dragon Emperor say that the so-called Great Trial of the Dragons would only come in 100 years? Yang Hongwu was extremely curious and asked. Su Long smiled bitterly and shook his head. In reality, the Great Trial has already begun. As for the 100 years, that was just what the Dragon Emperor said on purpose. He wanted to reassure these geniuses. After hesitating for a long time, Su Long took out an item and handed it to Yang Hongwu. This is the fragment of the Dragon Gate that I obtained. I hope that you can make good use of this fragment and open the ancient Dragon Gate. This is too valuable. Yang Hongwu's heart jumped. If it was really the fragment of the ancient Dragon Gate, Yang Hongwu had to get his hands on it. However, Su Long had given it to him. He was afraid that there was a conspiracy behind this. Take it. Su Long placed the item in Yang Hongwu's palm and said, "In reality, this fragment has been in my possession for a long time, but I have not been able to refine it. Hence, I know that this fragment does not belong to me. It was only when you appeared in Shug City that the fragment changed. Initially, I thought that this fragment changed because of Bohai's appearance and that he was the owner of this fragment. However, I later realized that I was wrong. This fragment changed because of your arrival. Hence, you are the true owner of this fragment. I am merely returning it to its rightful owner." Seeing Su Long's reaction, Yang Hongwu kept the fragment. This fragment was in the box. This box seemed to be specially made. Even he was unable to sense the aura of this fragment. Could it be that the fragment he sensed was the one he had sensed? If that was the case, wouldn't it be a waste of effort? However, this was unlikely. Since Su Long had said that there was an ancient dragon gate in the Holy Land of the Dragons, and this was only a fragment, it was more likely that the item was in the Holy Land of the Dragons. No matter what, he had to go in and check it out. I wonder what the city lord wants me to do by asking me to enter the ancient dragon gate. There was no such thing as a free lunch in this world. Yang Hongwu firmly believed in this. If there were no conditions, why would Su Long give it to him? "I want you to kill Blair," Su Long said with a cold glint in his eyes. "That's one of the reasons." "Sure." Yang Hongwu nodded. He and Su Long were now in the same boat. As for Blair, even if Yang Hongwu didn't go looking for trouble with him, he would come looking for trouble with Yang Hongwu. Therefore, to Yang Hongwu, killing Blair was not a condition at all. "Secondly, I want an Emperor-level Dragon Pearl," Su Long continued. An Emperor-level Dragon Pearl was the Dragon Pearl of a divine Emperor Dragon. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes when he heard this. This condition was not easy. How many divine Emperor Realm experts were there since the ancient times? It was extremely difficult to obtain the Dragon Pearl left behind by an Emperor Realm expert after their death. As a divine Emperor Realm expert, the Dragon Pearl they left behind still contained a terrifying power even after their death. Most of the experts left their will in the Dragon Pearl, waiting for an opportunity to revive. Most of the ancient Emperor Realm experts were like that. Therefore, the difficulty of obtaining an Emperor-level Dragon Pearl was not small at all. Before Yang Hongwu could say anything, Su Long added, "This is not absolute. I just hope that you can look for it. If you can't find it, it's fine. However, if you find it, I hope that you can give it to me. It's very important to me." Speaking until here, Su Long heaved a heavy sigh and tears appeared in his eyes. "In fact, I don't want this Dragon Pearl for myself. Do you know why I hate Bruno so much?" Su Long looked at Yang Hongwu and said, "Bruno wants to kill me, but I also want to exterminate his family. My family, my beloved wife, they were all killed by them. I want revenge, and I want my wife to come back to life." Yang Hongwu could see that Su Long was revealing his true feelings and not acting. A person's feelings, especially such feelings, could not be put on an act. Yang Hongwu felt a strong longing and love from Su Long. Of course, he also felt a terrifying hatred. This hatred was too strong. Yang Hongwu thought of a cultivation technique. It was said that there was a peerless expert called the Hentian Emperor. He was a peerless expert who entered the Supreme Realm because of his monstrous hatred. If he practiced the Hentian Emperor's cultivation technique, he might really become a peerless expert like the Hentian Emperor. However, this was almost impossible because the Hentian Emperor was only a legend. No one knew if such a peerless expert really existed. There was no need to even mention his cultivation technique. However, if Su Long could obtain this cultivation technique, his strength would indeed be greatly improved. It was even possible for him to break through to the divine Emperor realm. In fact, Su Long's current cultivation was because of his strong hatred. If he didn't have such a strong hatred, he wouldn't have reached such a level. "I need an Emperor-level Dragon Pearl," in order to revive my wife. Su Long looked at Yang Hongwu and said, "As soon as you entered Shug City, I knew that you had an extraordinary origin. Moreover, your purpose is not that simple. However, all of this is nothing to me. Now that the great calamity has begun, the entire dragon world will enter an unprecedented crisis. I don't care about the crisis of the dragon world. On the contrary, it's a huge opportunity for me. Only in the great calamity of the world will there be countless opportunities. Only then will I have the opportunity to kill Bruno and the others for revenge. I even have the opportunity to revive my wife. I will do my best." Yang Hongwu sighed. In fact, if the real dragon pearl fell into his hands, it would probably be refined directly. Chapter 1499. Sacred Dragon War Territory. As long as you can revive my wife, I can promise you anything. Su Long looked at Yang Hongwu with a fervent look in his eyes, as if Yang Hongwu was his last hope. "Do you need a dragon pearl to revive her?" Yang Hongwu couldn't help but ask when he saw Su Long's expression. "Not really. There's another type of pill that can revive my wife. It's the legendary rebirth pill," Su Long said. Su Long said, "This reincarnation pill is also a legendary pill. Rumor has it that as long as there is a trace of the soul left in this pill, it can be revived. In ancient times, the founder of the dragon world refined such a pill, but he only managed to refine one." The rebirth pill? Yang Hongwu was shocked when he heard that. He didn't expect there to be such a powerful pill that could revive someone from the dead. Such a pill was truly heaven-defying. "Yes, my wife only has a trace of her soul left. I've nurtured her for so many years, but there's no change. There are only two ways to revive my wife. One is to obtain a royal dragon pearl, and the other is to obtain the legendary rebirth pill. However, these two things aren't ordinary things. It's too difficult to obtain them." Su Long's mood was very low when he said that. "However, I won't give up. As long as I'm alive, I won't give up. If it's just a single recipe, I can try to refine it," Yang Hongwu said. "You're also an alchemist?" Su Long was stunned when he heard that. "That's right, I'm an alchemist. Now, I can concoct Emperor-level pills, and I can even try to concoct pills that surpass Emperor-level pills. However, to concoct the reincarnation pill, there must be a recipe. I can't create a pill out of nothing. Of course, if I have enough time, maybe I can concoct the reincarnation pill. But that would take too long," said Yang Hongwu. "Really?" Su Long was pleasantly surprised. "Rumor has it that the recipe for the rebirth fate pill is in the Dragon Gate. That's one possibility. Another possibility is that it's in the ancient dragon tomb. Since you're going to the ancient dragon gate, I hope you can help me find it. I'll go to the ancient dragon tomb to look for it." Ancient dragon tomb? Luli was also shocked when he heard this. He looked at Su Long. The ancient dragon tomb was the tomb of the ancient dragons. It was also very dangerous. Once one entered it, one would be entangled by the dreadful death chi. As a dragon, Luli knew how terrifying the dragon tomb was. Especially the ancient dragon tomb. It contained dreadful curse power and supreme death chi, which was the law of withering. Anyone, even if they were dragons, would most likely die if they entered. That's right. The recipe for the rebirth fate pill can only appear in these two places. I can't enter the ancient dragon gate, but I can go to the ancient dragon tomb. Su Long looked at Yang Hongwu. "I'll have to trouble you with the ancient dragon gate." With that, Su Long left in a hurry. Yang Hongwu watched Su Long leave, then walked towards Bo Hai and Xian Yi with Luli. At this moment, Bo Hai and Xian Yi had been waiting for a long time. After all, there were only the four of them in Shug City, and Blair had already listed Shug City as a must-kill target. Who would dare to leave alone? What kind of joke was this? Blair was not someone they could deal with. "Brother Hong, you're finally here." Bo Hai sighed in relief when he saw Yang Hongwu arrive. However, when he noticed that Su Long had already left, his expression changed slightly. Why did the city lord leave? At this time, all the city lords would wait until the competition ended before leaving. But now, Su Long had directly left. This made Xian Yi and Bo Hai even more uncertain. The city lord has important matters to attend to, so he left first. As for Shug City, I have the final say in this competition. Yang Hongwu looked at Xian Yi. "Do you have any objections?" Xian Yi shook his head. What kind of joke was this? How would he dare to have any objections? Although his strength was not bad, and it could even be said that he could be ranked in the top 10 amongst the younger generation geniuses in this year's genius competition, he was still confident in this point. However, a monstrous genius like Blair had appeared in this year's genius competition. This fellow was too terrifying, and he had to specifically target Clipchamp. Once he was targeted by Blair, he would not have the slightest bit of confidence. Therefore, he naturally didn't dare to say anything to Yang Hongwu. This was all because he was too weak. Blair was stronger than him, and Yang Hongwu was also stronger than him. If he wasn't strong enough, he could only act like a grandson. However, even so, Xinyi was still unwilling to accept this. The resentment and ambition in his heart were concealed. If he had the chance, he would definitely take revenge. Yang Hongwu didn't know any of this. Of course, to him, Xinyi was just a clown. Even if he knew, he wouldn't care. In Yang Hongwu's eyes, Xinyi was just an ant. Even if his cultivation increased, he was just a slightly stronger ant. Blair was the same. The time has come. The Sacred Dragon War territory has opened. This time, the competition of geniuses will be held in the Sacred Dragon War territory. The Dragon Emperor waved his hand, and a huge portal appeared in front of everyone. Everyone participating in the competition, enter. I hope you can obtain your own opportunities. There were a total of 30 large cities and hundreds of small cities in the Dragon World. The large cities like Boar City and Shug City had 4 spots to enter the competition, while the small cities only had 1 spot. Therefore, there weren't many people participating in the competition in the Dragon World, but there were quite a few young masters. There were a total of several hundred people. These several hundred people were the most outstanding geniuses of the younger generation in the Dragon World. However, once they entered the Sacred Dragon War territory, less than a tenth of them would survive. It would be very good if a few dozen people could survive out of several hundred people. When Blair entered the Sacred Dragon War territory, he glanced at Yang Hongwu and the others. Murderous intent flashed in his eyes. I'll be waiting for you. With that, Blair stepped into the war territory. Yang Hongwu chuckled. He didn't think much of it. However, Xinyi and Bo Hai both trembled. What do we do? Bo Hai said, he'll definitely hunt us down. Chapter 1500. Komodo Dragon, however, Yang Hongwu did not bother with them. Instead, he turned around and left. Lu Li naturally followed behind him. Seeing Yang Hongwu leave, Bo Hai immediately followed. He knew how powerful Yang Hongwu was. Only Yang Hongwu had the strength to fight against Blair. If he and Xian Yi were together and Blair found them, only death would await them. Damn it! Xian Yi was furious when he saw Yang Hongwu ignoring him. However, he didn't dare to be alone. Blair was too terrifying. Therefore, although he was angry, he had no choice but to follow them. The spiritual chi here is indeed very rich. After entering the Holy Dragon Battle territory, Yang Hongwu discovered that the spiritual chi here was much richer than outside. Cultivating here for a day was comparable to cultivating outside for several days. For cultivators, this place was simply a cultivation paradise. Cultivating here could definitely advance by leaps and bounds. What do we do now? Lu Li asked. Are we just going to look around like headless flies? No, let's look for the genius token first. Yang Hongwu said. The number of genius tokens was the basis of the ranking of the genius assembly. Every genius had a genius token. There were many genius tokens hidden in the Holy Dragon Battle territory. Some of these genius tokens were hidden in very dangerous places. The locations of these genius tokens were known to all cultivators. Before entering the Holy Dragon Battle territory, the Dragon Emperor had already announced the locations of the genius tokens. The place with the most genius tokens was the center of the Holy Dragon Battle territory. It was also the core of the Holy Dragon Battle territory. Of course, it was also the most dangerous place. There was a terrifying, vicious beast with the strength of a half-step divine emperor. It could be said that for many years, no one had ever obtained a genius token. The genius token was not only the basis of the ranking of the genius assembly, but also the proof to enter the dragon-raising pool and the holy dragon pool. If one didn't have enough genius tokens, they wouldn't be able to enter the dragon-raising pool and the holy dragon pool. Genius token? Luli asked, Big brother, do you want to go to the center of the holy dragon battle territory? There are a lot of genius tokens there. If one could obtain a genius token there, they would definitely become the #1 person in this year's competition. Hongwu, are you crazy? You're courting death. It's fine if you want to die, but don't drag us down with you. After hearing the discussion between Yang Hongwu and Luli, Yang Hongwu actually wanted to go to the center of the Holy Dragon Battle territory to search for the genius token. That was simply courting death. If you don't want to go, no one is forcing you to go. Yang Hongwu said coldly, I'm not asking you to follow me. Brother Bo, let's go. Don't follow this arrogant madman. If we go to the center of the Holy Dragon Battle territory, we won't have a good ending. We will definitely die. Xianyi said coldly. Brother Hong, we shouldn't go there. The center of the Holy Dragon Battle territory is too dangerous. There's a half-step divine emperor ferocious beast there. Its strength is terrifying. Even the city lord is not a match for that ferocious beast. If we go there, we won't have any hope of surviving. Even Blair is not as terrifying as that ferocious beast. Bohai looked at Yang Hongwu. After all, he knew how terrifying Yang Hongwu was. Therefore, he still wanted to follow Yang Hongwu. Of course, if Yang Hongwu went to the center of the Holy Dragon Battle territory, it would be a different story. That place was too terrifying. He didn't want to die there. Luli, let's go. Yang Hongwu didn't have a good impression of Bohai. He was just a coward who was afraid of death. In the end, it would be difficult for him to achieve great things. He wasn't even qualified to be Yang Hongwu's servant. On the other hand, the city lord, Su Long, could be nurtured well. If Yang Hongwu didn't devour this world, he could nurture Su Long. If Su Long could save his wife, Su Long would never betray Yang Hongwu. This time, Bohai didn't follow them. Brother Xianyi, what should we do now? Without Hongwu, we won't be able to contend against Blair. If we encounter Blair, we won't have any chance of surviving. Bohai said worriedly. It was true. Although the two of them were strong, the gap between them and Blair was still very big. It doesn't matter. Don't blame us for being unrighteous. Xianye's eyes flashed coldly and said coldly, We will spread the news that they're going to the center of the Holy Dragon Battle territory and leave their chi. I believe that as long as Blair hears the news, he will definitely rush over. That's impossible. Blair is strong, but that place is too dangerous. It's too terrifying. Even Blair might not be able to escape unscathed. It's impossible for him to risk going there for Hongwu and the others. Bohai was startled and said in disbelief. Xianyi smiled faintly and said, He will, Blair will. Blair is a very proud and conceited person. Since Hongwu dared to go there, why wouldn't Blair dare to go there? If he doesn't go, he won't be satisfied even if he gets first place. Xianyi was very confident about that. I hope so. Yang Hongwu's figure flashed through Bohai's mind. He thought of the scene when he first met Yang Hongwu and sighed in the end. He was still very afraid of Yang Hongwu. If Yang Hongwu returned safely, where would he go? Moreover, if Yang Hongwu found out what he and Xianyi had done, would he kill him directly? Bohai looked into the distance and took a deep breath, calming the fear in his heart. He hoped that Yang Hongwu wouldn't come out again. That was the best outcome. However, when they spread the news, the uneasiness in their hearts grew even stronger. Blair, who was fighting with an exotic beast, cut off its head and dug out its core before landing lightly on the ground. Looking at the person in front of him, he said, Is there news about them? Yes, young master, there is news. Speak. That Hongwu brought his woman into the core area of the Holy Dragon battlefield. He said he wanted to kill the Komodo dragon and find the genius token there. Kill the Komodo dragon. Blair's face revealed a hint of surprise when he heard this. Are you trying to avoid my pursuit? Is the Komodo dragon so easy to kill? He's just a great emperor. He's not even a true god. How dare he dream of killing a Komodo dragon? He's overestimating himself. Chapter 1501. Mysterious Expert Conspiracy? No. Blair shook his head and said, It's true, he's already there. Young master, you mustn't take any risks. That place is too terrifying. The Komodo dragon is too terrifying. Unless you have reached the half-step divine emperor realm, nobody can kill the Komodo dragon. When a man heard Blair's words, his expression suddenly changed, and he hastily tried to persuade him. No, I've already made up my mind. Kill everyone in the periphery and take their genius tokens. I'm going to find the Komodo dragon. Blair said, No, young master. Even the old master isn't sure if he can kill the Komodo dragon. Don't try to persuade me. I've already made up my mind. You guys take action immediately. Blair's eyes flashed coldly, his body emitting a terrifying chi. Yes, young master. He took a deep breath. He knew his young master's character very well. After all, he had grown up with Blair. Since his young master had already made up his mind, he couldn't change it. If he tried to persuade him again, it would be counterproductive. It would make the young master feel disgusted. The gains would not make up for the losses. Yang Hongwu and Lu Li rushed towards the central area. Brother, you just want to let that Xinyi go? That guy is obviously not a good person. His eyes are filled with hatred. Lu Li didn't understand why Yang Hongwu would let Xinyi go. Don't worry, I need someone to pass on a message. Yang Hongwu said, Pass on a message? Brother, you want Xinyi to pass on a message to Blair? Lu Li immediately understood that Blair was the only one who could make Yang Hongwu pay attention to him. After all, Yang Hongwu had promised Su Long to kill Blair. That's right, Yang Hongwu nodded. But, big brother, will he come? It's very dangerous here. There's a Komodo dragon in the core area of the sacred dragon battle territory. The strength of this Komodo dragon is very strong. It's equivalent to a half-step divine emperor expert. Once you enter the territory of the Komodo dragon, you'll be attacked by it crazily. Only half-step divine emperors can withstand the attack of the Komodo dragon and escape unscathed. Only half-step divine emperors can survive. Lu Li said, Blair shouldn't be so stupid. No, he will come. Yang Hongwu shook his head. How do you know he'll definitely come? Lu Li saw that Yang Hongwu was so sure, so he knew that what he said was true. However, Lu Li was very curious. Why was Yang Hongwu so sure? There's a strong force in his body. If this force is released, it's enough to kill the Komodo dragon. Yang Hongwu said with a smile. Others might not be able to sense it, but who was Yang Hongwu? How could he not sense the strong and overbearing force in Blair's body? This guy was really terrifying. If it was an ordinary person, they wouldn't be able to defeat him. Even a half-step divine emperor expert might be killed if he was caught off guard. However, he met Yang Hongwu. This time, Yang Hongwu wanted to use Blair to deal with the Komodo dragon. Yang Hongwu could deal with the Komodo dragon by himself, but it would be very troublesome and he would have to pay a high price. On the other hand, it would be much easier to lure Blair into a confrontation with the Komodo dragon. As the saying goes, when the sandpiper and the clam fight, the fisherman benefits. This was an excellent method. Yang Hongwu and Lu Li advanced. Along the way, they encountered many strange beasts. These strange beasts more or less had the bloodline of dragons. However, these low-level dragons couldn't awaken their intelligence and couldn't transform successfully. After all, their bloodline grade was too low. Of course, there were some with noble bloodlines, but even so, they couldn't transform and their intelligence was very limited. However, no matter how small a mosquito was, it was still meat. The power of these bloodlines was still helpful to Yang Hongwu and Lu Li. As they got closer to the center of the Holy Dragon battlefield, Yang Hongwu faintly felt a dragon's might. This dragon's might surprised Yang Hongwu. With such a dragon's might, it couldn't be other dragons except for the Komodo dragon. Brother, I'm afraid this Komodo dragon isn't that simple. This dragon's might is indeed amazing. If I'm not wrong, this Komodo dragon is about to transform. If it succeeds, this Komodo dragon will become a real dragon. Its strength will reach the heavens, and it will be invincible under the divine emperor realm. Lu Li said. Yang Hongwu nodded in agreement. However, it's impossible for a Komodo dragon's bloodline to reach such a level. It can't even reach the half-step divine emperor realm. This Komodo dragon must have obtained something that allowed it to transform to such a level. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes and said, Dragon Ball. Lu Li and Yang Hongwu looked at each other and said in unison, "Yes, it must be the dragon orb. Even if it's not the dragon orb, it can't be that bad. It should be something left behind by a divine king dragon, and this Komodo dragon obtained it. That's why this guy's strength has increased to such a level, and his bloodline has also undergone an amazing evolution." Yang Hongwu's eyes burst with a shocking light. That treasure was definitely not simple. If he obtained it, his strength could break through the shackles and enter the invincible Great Emperor realm. He could even enter the Tai True God realm. If he entered the Tai True God realm, Yang Hongwu would be invincible under the Divine Emperor realm unless he was attacked by a Divine Emperor expert. With his current cultivation, he had to be wary of half-step Divine Emperors and even Divine Monarchs. Without the help of the formation, Yang Hongwu was far from being his opponent. "Brother, let's go and have a look," Lu Li said. "Wait." Yang Hongwu stopped Lu Li and said, "Someone's coming." "Who? Is it Blair?" Lu Li asked. "No, it's not him. It's someone else. He's very strong. However, it's strange that he doesn't have the aura of a dragon. If I'm not wrong, he's not a dragon." Yang Hongwu said, "Not a dragon? How is that possible? If he's not a dragon, how can he enter here? Didn't the Dragon Emperor say that only those with the bloodline of a dragon can enter the sacred dragon battlefield?" Lu Li was shocked and said, Chapter 1502. The Oriole, the Komodo dragon, is just a lowly reptile. It's like a precious pearl being covered in dust after obtaining the ancient emperor's dragon pearl. "The dragon pearl is mine." The man came to the place where Yang Hongwu was before, looked at the Komodo dragon's position, and muttered. Very soon, that person's figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. "That person is so strong. Who is he?" Lu Li looked at that person's back and asked, "I don't know who that person is. Could it be the dragon's Nai?" Yang Hongwu frowned and said, "No, it shouldn't be Nai. Nai is a divine emperor. Even though that person is strong, he's still a step away from the divine emperor realm. He's only at the peak of the half-step divine emperor realm. Since we can't figure out, then forget it. Should we follow him?" Lu Li asked. "No." Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, "Let him go first." "Why? What if he gets a Dragon Ball? Won't our efforts be in vain?" Lu Li was puzzled and asked. "The Komodo dragon is also very strong. Even though it's the weakest among the half-step divine emperors, it's still stronger than an ordinary divine emperor realm expert. Even though that person is at the peak of the half-step divine emperor realm, he won't be able to defeat the Komodo dragon in a short time." Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, "As the saying goes, when the sandpiper and the clam fight, the fisherman benefits. We can wait." Suddenly, Yang Hongwu said, "Someone else is coming. Someone else dares to come here." Lu Li was surprised. "Who is it? Is it someone from another force?" Lu Li was very curious. For the geniuses of the Dragon Clan, this place was extremely dangerous. Therefore, ordinary people wouldn't dare to enter this place. Of course, it couldn't be ruled out that they accidentally entered. However, the possibility of this was not high. "We know that person." Yang Hongwu smiled and said, "Who is it?" "Blair." "Blair? It's him? Does he really dare to come?" Lu Li was surprised. He did not think that Blair would dare to come. One should know that the Komodo dragon was a half-step divine emperor. Although Blair was strong, he was only a monarch god. The difference between a monarch god and a half-step divine emperor was like heaven and earth. "He has a trump card," Yang Hongwu said. "If he didn't have a trump card to deal with a half-step divine emperor, he wouldn't have come here. Even though we're enemies, I have to admit that he's a genius. He's very talented, even stronger than Su Long, City Lord Su Long. Didn't you say that Su Long has the possibility of breaking through to the God Emperor realm? Moreover, the possibility of success is very high. Blair also has the possibility of breaking through to the Divine Emperor realm." Lu Li couldn't remain calm when he heard this. Although Lu Li's aptitude and talent were very outstanding, she knew very well that it wouldn't be easy for her to become a divine monarch, let alone a divine emperor. That's right. Blair has the possibility of breaking through to the divine emperor realm. Moreover, if the opportunity comes, Blair's possibility of breaking through to the Divine Emperor realm is even greater than Su Long, Yang Hongwu said. If he gets the Dragon Ball, he can break through the bottleneck of the Monarch realm and enter the Divine Emperor realm in less than 10 years. Are you kidding? His talent is that great? Lu Li was a little jealous when she heard this. 10 years. Only 10 years to break through the bottleneck and become a Divine Emperor realm expert. Anyone would be jealous. After all, it was very difficult for a person to break through from the Monarch realm to the Divine Emperor realm. Even if he reached the peak of the half-step Divine Emperor realm, it would take him more than 10 years to break through the bottleneck. Even those peerless geniuses with outstanding talent would need thousands of years to break through to the Divine Emperor realm. Moreover, it also required an opportunity. If the opportunity didn't come, it would be impossible to break through the bottleneck. His talent is amazing. To be exact, he's a reincarnation of an expert. Moreover, he's an expert of the Divine Emperor realm. In other words, it's possible that he's been possessed by an expert. Yang Hongwu said, "Anyway, this guy is not easy to deal with. However, it's going to be interesting." Blair was not an easy person to deal with. The same went for that guy just now. Plus the Komodo dragon. TSK, a three-way battle. It's going to be interesting. However, Yang Hongwu believed that if Blair found the Komodo WYRM and the dragon variant, he would definitely have the idea of being the Oriole behind the mantis. However, he and Lu Li would be the hunters behind the Oriole. Yang Hongwu took out 2 talismans and crushed them, completely concealing their aura. Originally, Yang Hongwu did not need to do this. The cultivation method that he cultivated was enough to conceal the aura of the 2 people. However, in order to be absolutely safe, Yang Hongwu still used 2 aura-concealing talismans. "Let's go and watch the fun," Yang Hongwu said. "Okay." Lu Li nodded and followed Yang Hongwu. The 2 of them sneaked behind Blair. It was unknown whether Blair was confident or arrogant, but Blair actually walked straight ahead without even releasing his mental strength to check his surroundings. This made Lu Li very surprised. The previous half-step Divine Emperor expert was very careful, but Blair didn't seem to be worried at all. Roar! At this time, a loud roar came from the front. It was a dragon's roar. Blair squinted his eyes. His figure turned into a shadow as he rushed forward at high speed. Yang Hongwu and Lu Li looked at each other and quickly chased after him. Yang Hongwu took Lu Li's hand and activated the void travel technique. In an instant, they appeared on top of an ancient tree. The 2 of them looked up and saw that the dragons were confronting a huge lizard. This huge lizard was the Komodo dragon. Not far away, a shadow also rushed over. That person was none other than Blair. "Who's there?" As the 5th elder of the dragons, Corey's strength was also very strong. He was at the peak of the half-step Divine Emperor realm. It could be said that in fact, except for a few experts, no one was his opponent. For him, in this sacred dragon battlefield, as long as his identity was not exposed, he didn't need to worry. Chapter 1503. Chaotic Battle. "Who are you? Come out." "Who are you?" Blair walked out. Yang Hongwu and Lu Li were surprised. He actually showed himself. "I'm also surprised. This guy looks very confident." Another one. The Komodo dragon's huge eyes stared at Blair and Corey. "You trespassed into my territory. Are you trying to kill me?" Blair is indeed the most outstanding genius of the dragons. Among the younger generation, he's the most promising peerless heaven's pride to reach the Divine Emperor realm. What a pity, what a pity. Corey couldn't help but sigh. This peerless genius is going to die at my hands in the end. If you hadn't come to throw your life away, I might not have been your match once you've grown up. Instead, you came to throw your life away. This is your fate. What a big tone. Are you an anomaly? Blair's eyes emitted a terrifying cold light. He originally thought that it would be Yang Hongwu and the others. He didn't expect that the person he met would be an anomaly of the dragons. This is the Holy Dragon War territory. How could an anomaly of the dragons appear here? A trace of shock flashed in Blair's eyes. Haha, that's right. I am an anomaly. I didn't expect that I would be able to kill the most outstanding genius of the younger generation of the Dragon Clan here today. This time, my contribution is simply too great. Corey laughed heartily. The Komodo dragon was furious. It was thoroughly furious. These two people didn't even put in their eyes. It was a Komodo dragon, the king of the Holy Dragon War territory. It was the master of this space. The two damn fellows in front of it actually didn't care about it at all, which made it furious. You, how dare you trespass into my territory? You all deserve to die. After saying that, the Komodo dragon opened its huge mouth and spewed out a terrifying dragon breath. Its target was Corey and Blair. Blair's speed was extremely fast. He instantly dodged the Komodo dragon's attack. Similarly, Corey's speed wasn't slow either. Corey's strength was at the peak of the half-step divine emperor realm. Evil creature, wait until I kill this genius of the dragons, then I'll deal with you. After saying that, Corey turned into a bolt of lightning and instantly shot toward Blair. Blair's pupils shrank as he looked at Corey, who was rushing towards him. His complexion became slightly dignified. Corey's strength was very powerful. He was at the peak of half-step divine emperor realm. Unless one was also a half-step divine emperor, it was impossible to resist him. Blair was just a divine monarch. The gap between them was too big. If it wasn't for the fact that he had a trump card, he would have already escaped from this place. You want to kill me? You must be dreaming. You're just a mere divergent. Unless Nai personally comes, I might be afraid. But you don't have the qualifications. Blair snorted coldly as he took out an item. It was a talisman. The talisman turned into a beam of light, and an image appeared. This image's aura was very terrifying. It was absolutely an existence that surpassed the divine lord realm. Godly Emperor Talisman. Seeing the appearance of this talisman, Corey's complexion sank. A talisman of a godly emperor powerhouse. It turned out that this brat had nothing to fear. If a real godly emperor powerhouse had come, then he wouldn't even think about it and would immediately turn around and flee. However, what Blair took out was just a talisman. Although it was an illusion of a godly emperor powerhouse, it was just a phantom, a spirit body. No matter how powerful it was still limited. I didn't expect that the Dragon Emperor would value you so much. Corey coldly snorted. So what if it's a godly emperor talisman? I want to see how powerful the Dragon Emperor's spirit body is. After saying that, Corey took out a terrifying blood-red saber and slashed at Blair. Its speed was so fast that no one could react. No, this isn't the Dragon Emperor's talisman. Yang Hongwu also thought that this was the Dragon Emperor's talisman at first, but after carefully sensing it, he discovered that this wasn't the case. The reason why the spirit body was illusory and had no appearance was most likely to confuse people so that they wouldn't be able to find out the true identity of the other party. If it was an ordinary person, they might really be confused. The aura of this spirit body was very similar to the Dragon Emperor's strength and aura, but there was still a big gap between them. Therefore, Yang Hongwu was able to see through it. It seems that there's a powerful force behind Blair. There must be a godly emperor powerhouse behind him. Luli couldn't help but say after hearing Yang Hongwu's words. That's not necessarily true. Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, how can a godly emperor powerhouse appear so easily? If there were so many godly emperor powerhouses in this world, I'm afraid this world would have collapsed long ago. Yang Hongwu was telling the truth. The birth of a god king required a terrifying amount of energy. In this world, there was a dragon emperor, a divergent emperor, a demon emperor, and an emperor of the divine race. Altogether, there were 4 god kings in this world. This was just the number that was known on the surface. There might be a few more in the dark. Therefore, in this world, the number of godly emperor powerhouses could be counted on one hand. Even if there weren't any, there wouldn't be much difference. However, once so many godly emperor powerhouses mobilized their power, this world simply wouldn't be able to withstand it. It would easily collapse and be completely destroyed. After all, the godly emperor realm was too powerful and terrifying. This world simply couldn't accommodate so many godly emperor powerhouses. Yang Hongwu estimated that in addition to the Dragon Emperor, the Divergent Emperor, the Devil Emperor, and the Divine Race Emperor, there should be 2 or 3 godly emperor powerhouses. This was already the limit. Even if there were other godly emperors, they might not be in this world. They might have entered a different world or created their own world. This was most likely the case. As for Blair, there was a majestic and extremely pure energy in his body. This energy was very compatible with Blair, and this spiritual talisman was very similar to that aura, as if they came from the same source. This pure energy was almost Blair's source. No expert would waste their own source to fuse with someone else's body. Even if it was their parents, it was absolutely impossible for them to do so. Therefore, Yang Hongwu guessed that this spiritual talisman didn't belong to anyone else. It was most likely Blair's own. Or rather, it was his predecessor's. Blood-sabered dragon slaying. Corey roared, and the blood-colored saber in his hand turned into a terrifying saber chi. This saber chi broke through the sky and heavily chopped towards the dragon transformed from the talisman. Chapter 1504. The intrepid Blair. The energy storm formed by the collision of the two overbearing forces swept up the surrounding vegetation and rocks, destroying everything within a radius of 100 feet. A layer of the ground was scraped off, forming a huge pit at the place where the two of them were standing. Is this all the spiritual body of a divine emperor expert can do? The terrifying energy sent Corey flying. He got up and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Clenching his saber, he stared at the dragon in front of him with a smile. It seems that my guess is right. This spiritual body doesn't have the strength of a true divine emperor expert. At most, it only has 70% of the strength of a true divine emperor expert. 70%, so what? Even if it's only 70%, it's enough to deal with you. Blair looked at Corey and sneered. An anomaly. All of you deserve to die. After Blair finished speaking, he shouted, "Go, kill him." Roar. The dragon once again pounced on Corey. Its speed was faster than before. Very good. Blood saber cleaves the sky. Another saber was launched. This time, its power was even more terrifying as it was integrated with the power of law. The shadow condensed from the huge blood-red saber erupted, releasing a terrifying power of law. In the void, a terrifying dragon-devouring beast was faintly formed. The shadow of the dragon-devouring beast. Yes, this is a cultivation technique that I have painstakingly cultivated. It was developed to kill dragons. It's the will of the dragon-devouring beast. Dragons are sworn enemies of the dragon-devouring beast, which is also the natural enemy of dragons. My saber technique was created to kill dragons. Corey laughed loudly, and the saber in his hand slashed down heavily. Gotcha! The power of this saber was terrifying. It actually severed the spiritual body of the dragon. The spiritual body was severed, turned into a majestic force, and integrated into Blair's body. Blair instantly erupted with a terrifying aura. His cultivation base was constantly rising. In a few breaths, he reached the peak of the divine emperor realm, and it was still rising without stopping. Breakthrough? What kind of secret technique is this? Lu Li's eyes widened when he saw this scene. Peak of the half-step divine emperor realm. Yang Hongwu was also very surprised. He never thought that Blair would have such a method. The power of this spirit body had actually fused into his body. Moreover, there seemed to be no side effects. This Blair really hid himself well. Lu Li said, "I feel that he is only one step away from crossing the threshold and becoming a real divine emperor." Not bad. Yang Hongwu nodded. That's true. I didn't expect Blair to be so powerful. No wonder this guy is so fearless and confident. It would be great if we could get the secret method he cultivates, said Lu Li. No need. Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, his cultivation method is not suitable for us. Yang Hongwu guessed that this power originally belonged to Blair, but it had been separated by Blair. Half-step divine emperor realm. At this moment, Corey saw that Blair's strength had increased so much. He was also very shocked. The power of the talisman had actually fused into Blair's body, raising his cultivation base to the half-step divine emperor realm. This was the real half-step divine emperor realm, not the kind of secret technique that had side effects. He could clearly feel that Blair was now a real half-step divine Emperor realm expert. In other words, this kind of increase in cultivation was permanent and not some secret technique that could temporarily increase one's cultivation. How do you want to die now? Blair looked at Corey and asked, do you think that you can kill me now that you have reached the half-step divine Emperor realm? If you weren't from the Dragon Clan, you might be able to do it. However, you are from the Dragon Clan, and the saber technique I created and this saber of mine were created to restrain the Dragon Clan. Therefore, you will die here today. Corey narrowed his eyes and looked at Blair, his eyes filled with killing intent. He had to kill him, otherwise, when he grew up, nobody would be able to kill him. Once he reached the half-step divine Emperor realm, even Na Yi would not be able to defeat him. Die for me, blood saber soul slash. Another slash. This time, a terrifying strange beast appeared. This strange beast was the king of the dragon-devouring beasts. It transformed into a terrifying form and rushed towards Blair. It's useless, it's useless. Blair smiled coldly and said, this saber technique is not bad, but unfortunately you are too weak. Moreover, this saber technique has no soul. You don't have the blood of the dragon-swallowing beasts. Therefore, you can't display the full power of the saber technique because you are also a dragon. Even though your blood has mutated, you still have the blood of dragons. Therefore, you can't kill me. A huge sword appeared in Blair's hand. There were ancient runes on the huge sword. These ancient runes contained the mysterious power of law, not to mention an illusion of a dragon-swallowing beast. Even a real dragon-swallowing beast can only die in front of me. After saying that, Blair held the huge sword with both hands and suddenly slashed at the dragon-swallowing beast. Kacha! With a crisp sound, the dragon-swallowing beast's claws were shattered. Then, the dragon-swallowing beast let out a wail. In the next moment, the huge sword landed on Corey's body. Although Corey dodged, one of his arms was still cut off. His body was like a kite with a broken string. He was sent flying and heavily hit a huge rock not far from Yang Hongwu. The huge rock was instantly smashed into pieces. Cough, cough. Corey climbed up. Impossible, this is impossible. How can my blood saber divine technique not kill you? He looked at Blair unwillingly as he walked towards him step by step. It's time for you to die. Blair's sword landed on Corey's body. This sword instantly shattered Corey's body and turned it into energy. Then, this energy condensed. Blair opened his mouth and instantly swallowed this energy. This guy's strength is too strong. Luli sucked in a deep breath and was extremely shocked. Yang Hongwu also didn't expect Blair's strength to be beyond his imagination. It's your turn now. Blair looked at the Komodo dragon in front of him and said coldly. The Komodo dragon looked at Blair with fear in its eyes. However, it still didn't escape, which surprised Yang Hongwu. Chapter 1505. Snatching the Dragon Ball, is that so? You're just a low-level lizard with a bit of dragon's bloodline. Only by obtaining the Dragon Pearl could you have your current strength. It's too much of a waste for the Dragon Pearl to be in your hands. This is an insult to the Dragon Pearl. If you hand it over, I can leave your corpse intact, said Blair. Damn it, you bastard. Do you know that you're looking for death? The Komodo dragon was furious. This bastard was eyeing his Dragon Ball. Moreover, he threatened to leave his corpse intact if he handed over the Dragon Ball. How could the Komodo dragon not be furious? The Dragon Ball was the most important thing to him. It was because of the Dragon Ball that he became a giant dragon. Moreover, he had the chance to break through to the divine Emperor realm. Without the Dragon Ball, he would have nothing. Snatching the Dragon Ball was the same as asking for his life. Die. I want you to die today. Even if I have to pay a high price, you have to die here. The Komodo dragon's body changed. Its eyes turned red, and its body grew 10 times bigger than before. At this moment, the Komodo dragon was like a huge mountain. Blair was as small as an ant in front of it. Even Yang Hongwu and Lu Li were shocked. Although your body has grown bigger, you still haven't grasped the power of the Dragon Ball. You're just a lizard. It's a waste for the Dragon Ball to be on you. Only a genius like me can truly exert the power of the Dragon Ball. After I refine the Dragon Ball, I'll be able to recover my strength. After saying that, Blair's figure flashed and stood in the void. His body also began to change. After a few breaths, he turned into a giant. The broadsword in his hand exuded a destructive aura. Frightening dragon slash. With a roar, the giant that Blair turned into held the broadsword and slashed at the Komodo dragon. Although it was a simple attack, it contained a terrifying destructive power. The broadsword collided with the Komodo dragon. Suddenly, sparks flew everywhere. The Komodo dragon's huge body was pressed down to the ground. The giant that Blair turned into did not fare well either. He was instantly sent flying. What powerful strength! The impact of the powerful force affected Yang Hongwu and Lu Li. The strong wind was like a sharp knife, destroying everything around them. They're indeed very strong. It seems that I need to make some arrangements, Yang Hongwu said. He did not expect that the Komodo dragon had really obtained the Dragon Ball. Since it was the Dragon Ball, he naturally could not give it up. The Dragon Balls were not only useful to him, but also to Lu Li. Brother, are you going to set up the formation? Yes, the strength of these two fellows is indeed terrifying. I estimate that the Komodo dragon is no match for Blair. Soon, Blair will kill the Komodo dragon. So, before that, I need to set up a formation to deal with Blair. Yang Hongwu felt that the power in Blair's body had not been fully released. If it was fully released, it would definitely be terrifying. At that time, Yang Hongwu himself would not have enough confidence. In order to be safe, Yang Hongwu had to set up a formation. At this moment, Blair was fighting fiercely with the Komodo dragon. Therefore, Yang Hongwu's formation would not attract the attention of the two. This was the best opportunity. Do you need my help? Lu Li was very excited. She thought of killing two such powerful dragons. If she could devour their Dragon Balls, her strength would definitely skyrocket. Even if she could not break through to the Divine Emperor realm, reaching the Divine Monarch realm would not be a problem. No need, Yang Hongwu said. Just help me pay attention to these two fellows. Okay, Lu Li nodded. Yang Hongwu quickly began to set up the formation. This time, Yang Hongwu took out the Scroll of Good Fortune and the Hongmeng Saber as the formation core. The Scroll of Good Fortune and the Hongmeng Saber, one for defense and one for attack, were the most powerful formations. The Hongmeng Saber could increase the attack power of dragons by several times, and the Scroll of Good Fortune had a mysterious power that could suppress the special power in Blair's body. Only by combining the two could it be foolproof. Die. Blair's huge body stepped on the head of the Komodo dragon. The broadsword in his hand glowed with a strong light that almost illuminated the entire sky. This sword instantly pierced the head of the Komodo dragon. Crack! With a crisp sound, the Komodo dragon was completely killed. Blair stretched out his hand, and the Komodo dragon's body was torn apart. The next moment, a golden pearl appeared in the void. Come! Yang Hongwu had also finished setting up the formation. When he saw the Dragon Ball, his body flashed, and he grabbed the Dragon Ball. The next moment, he disappeared again. Blair didn't even see clearly who it was. Seeing that the Dragon Ball in his hand was snatched away, Blair was furious and shouted, "Damn it, who is it? How dare you snatch my Blair's things? Get out here!" Blair was furious. Someone actually dared to snatch his Dragon Ball in front of him. This was a provocation. This was a provocation to him. You're courting death. You're courting death. The furious Blair's body erupted with a terrifying power. This powerful force instantly swept across a radius of 100 feet with Blair as the center. Yang Hongwu held the Dragon Ball and appeared in front of Lu Li. Hongwu, it's you. Come out. Blair instantly realized that Hongwu was the only one who dared to enter the central region of the Holy Dragon War territory other than him and Corey. Haha, that's right. It's me. You're very smart. Yang Hongwu did not hide anymore. In fact, Yang Hongwu could have taken a Dragon Ball and left. However, he did not do so because he wanted to kill Blair. Of course, he also wanted to seize the Dragon Ball and the power in his body. It's really you. Blair looked at Yang Hongwu and said coldly, "Hand over the Dragon Ball, and I'll leave your corpse intact." Blair's aura locked onto Yang Hongwu the moment he appeared. Are you a retard? There's something wrong with your head. Since you're sick, you have to be treated. Yang Hongwu said, Good. I'm a doctor. I can treat your sick head. Good, good. You really deserve to die. A mere great Emperor Realm expert dares to be so arrogant. Today, I'll make you suffer a fate worse than death. I'll extract your soul and place it on the true dragon divine fire. I'll burn it and make you suffer. Blair was furious. He grabbed at Yang Hongwu with his big hand. Chapter 1506. Battle Yang Hongwu's expression did not change as he watched Blair's big hand coming towards him. Bang! Just as Blair's big hand was about to grab Yang Hongwu, a powerful light curtain appeared. This light curtain instantly blocked Blair's attack. Damn it, break! When Blair saw that he was blocked, he was even more furious. He was actually blocked by a great Emperor Realm warrior. The Dragon Ball in his hands was also snatched away. At this moment, he was quite angry. Haha, Blair, is this all you got? You're too weak. Are you trying to scratch my itch? Yang Hongwu sneered when he saw Blair's crazy look. Die, die, die. Hearing Yang Hongwu's mocking words, Blair's veins bulged and he became crazy. His aura was still rising and he was about to break through to the divine Emperor Realm. This situation gave Yang Hongwu a fright. If this guy had really broken through to the divine Emperor Realm, it would be really troublesome. Bang, bang, bang. A huge force crazily bombarded the protective shield around Yang Hongwu. The power that erupted was especially shocking, as if it wanted to destroy the entire Sacred Dragon battle territory. If it wasn't for the array that Yang Hongwu had set up, the Sacred Dragon battle territory might really be destroyed. Brother, he won't break through if you provoke him like this. Luli was worried. A divine Emperor Realm expert was too terrifying. Just like the Dragon Emperor, they could not deal with him. Don't worry. Yang Hongwu's lips curled into a smile. Even if he can break through here, he won't be able to do it here. The space here has been sealed by me. Even if he wants to break through, there won't be enough spiritual energy to provide him. I see. Then I'm relieved. Luli was relieved when he heard that. Seeing Blair's frenzied attacks, Yang Hongwu asked, Are you tired? It's my turn now, right? Hongwu, you coward. Come out and fight with me if you have the guts. Don't hide in your shell like a coward. Blair shouted when he saw that he could not break through the protective shield. Haha, all right. As soon as Yang Hongwu's voice fell, his figure flashed, and he appeared outside the protective shield, standing in front of Blair. Blair's eyes flashed with killing intent when he saw that Yang Hongwu had come out. Hongwu, I didn't expect you to come out. You're too stupid. If you had stayed inside, I wouldn't have been able to do anything to you in a short period of time. But you're courting death. Today, I'm going to kill you. Blair said loudly. Is that so? Yang Hongwu chuckled. He did not care about Blair's threat at all. Your strength is not bad. It can be said that you're almost invincible under the divine Emperor Realm. But that's only if you haven't met me. Now that you've met me, you're doomed to die here. Die? Haha, no one can kill me. No one, not even divine emperors. You. Blair could not help but laugh when he heard Yang Hongwu's words. It was as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. Is that so? In the past, no one was able to kill you because you had not met me. Now that you have met me, it will be the day of your end. Do you have any last words? Yang Hongwu ignored Blair's mockery and said softly. His tone was very serious. Well, I'd like to see how you're going to kill me. Blair looked at Yang Hongwu and raised the broadsword in his hand. The runes on the broadsword were activated. A mysterious force was unceasingly revolving around the broadsword. The entire broadsword was full of destructive power. If it wasn't for the fact that this space had been sealed, this small space would have been destroyed. Is that so? Then I'll show you my strength. Yang Hongwu said. His imposing aura burst out like a peerless divine emperor. Saber come. As Yang Hongwu's voice faded, a saber appeared in Yang Hongwu's hand. It was the Hong Meng saber. What a terrifying saber. I can feel the aura of destruction. This is the Dragon Slayer saber. You deserve to die. Looking at the battle saber in Yang Hongwu's hand, Blair felt a huge pressure. This battle saber contained a terrifying power. This power had a huge, suppressive, and destructive power against the dragon race. 9 Dragon's sacred body, open for me, Yang Hongwu roared. His aura surged once again. Shadows of giant dragons appeared above his head. They were divine dragons. Ancient dragons? Impossible. How can you have the ancient divine dragon vision? Blair screamed when he saw the changes in Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu's aura suppressed him. This was the power of the ancient divine dragon clan's bloodline. It was more noble and pure than the dragon's bloodline in the Dragon Emperor. In addition, the terrifying saber in Yang Hongwu's hand was a great threat to him. Nothing is impossible. Blair, I wouldn't have dealt with you if you didn't find trouble with me. But you just had to find trouble with me. So, you're going to die here today. Yang Hongwu held the Hongmeng saber tightly with both hands. Raging Dragon breaks the sky. With a roar, he slashed out with the saber. Overbearing saber chi condensed in the void. The overbearing saber chi turned into divine dragons and rushed towards Blair. So what if you have the ancient divine dragon bloodline? I, Blair, am invincible. I, Blair, will be the emperor of dragons. I will surpass the ancient dragon emperor. I am invincible. Blair roared angrily as his body underwent a transformation. His entire person transformed into a black western dragon. He had a huge body and sharp dragon claws. A terrifying aura erupted. He stretched out his sharp claws and clawed at the divine dragon condensed by Yang Hongwu's saber chi. Go to hell. Boom. Boom. The two overbearing forces clashed together, forming a terrifying energy storm in an instant. This terrifying energy storm seemed to be tearing the space apart. Devouring furnace. Yang Hongwu looked at the incoming energy storm with a solemn expression. With a shout, a huge furnace appeared in front of his chest and began to crazily devour the energy around it. Like a black hole, it rapidly devoured the surrounding energy. A vacuum zone was formed around Yang Hongwu. This showed how terrifying the devouring furnace was. Cough, cough. Under the impact of this powerful force, Blair was sent flying. A huge wound appeared on his chest. It was caused by Yang Hongwu. Chapter 1507. Half-step true god, you're too weak. Yang Hongwu stood up and looked at Blair. You've really disappointed me. Is this all you've got? Impossible. This is impossible. You're just a great Emperor Realm warrior. How can you be so powerful? How can you be my opponent? Blair shouted as he was sent flying by Yang Hongwu. Nothing is impossible. You're just too weak. Sometimes, the level of one's cultivation realm doesn't mean one's strength. Yang Hongwu said faintly, although my realm is lower than yours, my strength is much stronger than yours. With your battle prowess, I can fight 100 of you alone. You've hidden your cultivation realm, pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger? Blair spat out a few mouthfuls of blood and stood up. He looked at Yang Hongwu and stared at him. Blair certainly did not believe that a great Emperor Realm warrior could surpass 2 cultivation realms and defeat him. Even an outstanding genius could not do it. There was only one possibility. He had hidden his cultivation realm. Despicable. Blair looked at Yang Hongwu and said fiercely, "Ha! Despicable?" Yang Hongwu was amused. He looked at Blair and said, "Is this all you've got? You can only rely on your mouth when you can't win? You're too weak. Only a real weakling would be like this." "No, I'm not a weakling. I'm not a weakling. I'm going to kill you, despicable and shameless villain. Die." Blair was even more furious after hearing Yang Hongwu's ridicule. His eyes began to change. His eyes were filled with madness. His cultivation realm was rising and his aura was changing. Although he had not broken through, he was getting stronger. If it wasn't for the spiritual chi and the space being sealed, this guy would have become a false divine emperor expert. "You want to kill me? You're still too weak." Yang Hongwu retreated and waved his hand. A huge lightning appeared in the void. "Fine." As Yang Hongwu shouted softly, a hand seal was conjured. The huge lightning bolt in the void instantly wrapped around Blair's body and bound him. "Damn it, open for me." Blair's eyes flickered with raging flames of anger. He swung his broadsword fiercely, and the domineering power actually shattered the lightning binding. Not bad, not bad at all. Are you angry? Facing Blair's crazy attacks, Yang Hongwu quickly dodged. Do you only know how to dodge? Blair couldn't catch Yang Hongwu at all, so he couldn't attack him. He could only shout loudly, "If you're a man, don't dodge." As you wish. As Yang Hongwu spoke, he swung the battle blade in his hand. This time, Yang Hongwu didn't dodge. Looking at Blair, he charged forward, and the grand mist battle blade in his hand exploded with astonishing power. Art of the Nine Heavens Divine Dragon, Mysterious Dragon's 9 Transformations, open. Yang Hongwu's aura surged several times. The array that he had set up previously also turned into a powerful force and poured into Yang Hongwu's body. His strength was increasing. Invincible Great Emperor Realm, Tai True God Realm, Divine Monarch Realm. Yang Hongwu's aura suddenly rose to the peak of the Divine Monarch Realm. In the next moment, he entered the half-step Divine Emperor Realm. Die! This was the first time Yang Hongwu had poured the power of the array into his body. This was Yang Hongwu's first attempt. The powerful force gave Yang Hongwu a feeling that he could control the heavens and earth. You're the one who's going to die. Although Blair was shocked that Yang Hongwu's cultivation had risen to the half-step Divine Emperor Realm, he wasn't afraid. He was Blair, the most outstanding genius of the dragons, the reincarnation of a divine emperor. Bam! The two powerful forces collided once again, causing a shocking explosion. Gotcha! There was a crisp sound from the collision. Blair's broadsword shattered into pieces and fell to the ground. Puff! Blair spat out a mouthful of golden blood, and his body was sent flying. Devouring oven open, Yang Hongwu roared. The devouring furnace was activated once more, turning into a gigantic furnace. This gigantic furnace burst forth with an astonishing suction force, as though it was going to devour everything in its surroundings. Turn all of them into my energy. Yang Hongwu grabbed Blair and threw him into the devouring oven. He also grabbed the Dragon Ball in his hand and merged it into the Dragon Ball. Yang Hongwu wanted to use this opportunity to break through the shackles and enter the invincible Great Emperor Realm. The devouring oven was operating at its maximum. The energy was being devoured and converted into Yang Hongwu's cultivation. 1 cycle, 2 cycles. After an unknown period of time, Yang Hongwu finally refined all the energy. The energy of the Dragon Ball and Blair's energy. Half step to true God realm. Yang Hongwu opened his eyes. Previously, when he merged the energy of the formation into his body, his cultivation entered the half-step to Divine Emperor Realm in a short time. With the help of the half-step to Divine Emperor Realm, Yang Hongwu refined the Dragon Ball and Blair. Unexpectedly, his cultivation had only increased to the half-step to True God Realm. He had not even reached the Tai True God Realm. This made Yang Hongwu extremely depressed. Brother, your cultivation has broken through again. Luli was elated. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. Originally, I thought that after swallowing the Dragon Pearl, my cultivation would at least increase to the level of a primordial true god. However, the result is disappointing. My cultivation is only at the level of a half-step real god. If I were to give you the Dragon Pearl to merge with, your cultivation should increase to the level of Sir God. It's okay, brother. Although your cultivation has not reached the Tai True God Realm, after devouring the Dragon Ball, your strength has increased to an unimaginable level. Even a half-step to Divine Emperor Realm is no match for you. Luli did not care and said, moreover, your strength has increased and the Dragon Gate will also become stronger. The spiritual chi will become denser and I will benefit more from cultivating in the Dragon Gate. No, Luli, I suspect that this Dragon Ball is not a complete Emperor-level Dragon Ball. Yang Hongwu shook his head. The energy of the Dragon Ball that he had refined was indeed enormous. However, it was far from reaching the level of a divine emperor. Hence, Yang Hongwu guessed that this Dragon Ball should only be a pseudo-emperor-level Dragon Ball. Not an emperor-level Dragon Ball? Luli said. If it's only a pseudo-emperor-level Dragon Ball, it shouldn't be able to make an ordinary lizard reach the half-step to Divine Emperor Realm. Chapter 1508. Where the real Dragon Ball is, it seemed that he, Blair, and the others were all deceived by the Komodo dragon. How could a guy who obtained an Emperor-level Dragon Ball be so simple? If a low-level bloodline lizard really swallowed the Dragon Ball, not to mention refining it, it would immediately explode from the power of the Dragon Ball. How could it survive? As for mutation, the possibility was too low. That was an Emperor-level Dragon Ball, not an ordinary Dragon Ball. Brother, what's wrong? Is there something wrong? The real Emperor-level Dragon Ball should still be here, young Hongwu said. Still here. Lu Li's eyes widened and said, Brother, is what you said true? If my guess is right, it's probably true. Think about it. If what I just swallowed was really an Emperor-level Dragon Ball, how could my cultivation only reach the level of a half-step true god? Yang Hongwu said, I not only swallowed and refined the Dragon Ball, but also Blair's power. Blair is not simple. The energy in his body is only one step away from reaching the divine Emperor realm. Although such a huge amount of energy is not enough for me to reach the half-step true God realm directly, it's definitely enough for me to reach the peak of the invincible Great Emperor realm. If there's an Emperor-level Dragon Ball, my cultivation shouldn't only reach the half-step true God realm, right? Moreover, when I was refining the Dragon Ball, I didn't feel the divine Emperor law. Could it be that too much time has passed and the divine Emperor law has disappeared? Lu Li said. Or the divine Emperor law has been scattered, causing the Dragon Ball to lose its original power. Even if the power of the Dragon Pearl is lost, the power of law will never disappear. Therefore, this Dragon Pearl should not be a real Emperor-grade Dragon Pearl. At most, it should be a pseudo-Emperor-grade Dragon Pearl. Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, A real Emperor-grade powerhouse is not that simple. Brother, you said that the real Emperor-level Dragon Ball is still here? But there is no trace of the Dragon Ball's power around here, Lu Li said. Yes. Yang Hongwu smiled and said, Although he hid it very well, he still leaked a trace of his aura. But just this trace of his aura is enough. If it were someone else, they wouldn't be able to find him. Unfortunately, the person he met is me. In the end, there is no way to escape from my hands. If it were someone else, there would be no way to find it. However, who was Yang Hongwu? He had the 9 Dragons' sacred body. When he was fighting with Blair, he had activated the 9 Dragons' sacred body to the extreme. If he hadn't been fighting with Blair and hadn't noticed it, he wouldn't have remembered it until now. Then what are we waiting for? Let's hurry up and find them, Lu Li said. All right. Yang Hongwu took a step forward and arrived in front of the tiger lake not far away. It's under the lake. Yang Hongwu pointed at the lake in front of him. Here, where's the lake? Lu Li said, Brother, you must be mistaken. This is clearly a mountain. Ha! Yang Hongwu laughed and said, Lu Li, you have to look carefully. This is a huge lake. Moreover, there's an ancient tower under the lake. Is this an illusory formation? Lu Li said, This is an illusory formation. I can't even see a trace of it. It's really powerful. Yes, this is indeed an illusory formation. If it were someone else, they wouldn't be able to see it at all unless they were experts of the divine Emperor realm. Unfortunately, it's me. Yang Hongwu smiled slightly. This illusory formation was indeed powerful. It was the most powerful illusory formation that Yang Hongwu had ever seen. Others couldn't see through it, but Yang Hongwu could because Yang Hongwu himself was a powerful formation master. Formation breaking pill, go. Several pills appeared in Yang Hongwu's hand. These pills were instantly shot out and hit the barrier. In a breath, the illusory formation was broken. It's really a lake. That's great. Seeing the lake meant that there was really a Dragon Ball here. After the formation was broken, Lu Li also felt a trace of the Dragon Ball's aura. Dragon Ball, there really is a Dragon Ball. I can feel the aura of the Dragon Ball. As long as you get the Dragon Ball, you can break through the bottleneck and enter the divine Emperor realm. Lu Li was very happy. It's not that easy. Yang Hongwu smiled wryly. Although the Emperor-level Dragon Ball was powerful, it could only help him break through the bottleneck of the Tai True God realm and enter the Tai True God realm. If he wanted to break through to a higher realm, it would be extremely difficult. After all, he found that the energy he needed to break through was really too much. It was more terrifying than what he had imagined. Otherwise, after devouring Blair's energy and the pseudo-Emperor-level Dragon Ball, his cultivation would have reached the true God realm. However, it did not. It only allowed Yang Hongwu to break through to the half-step true God realm. Therefore, the possibility of him entering the divine Emperor realm with the help of the Emperor-level Dragon Ball was too small. "Brother, let's go down quickly." Luli was very anxious. She pulled Yang Hongwu's hand and was about to enter the lake. Yang Hongwu stopped her and said, "Don't worry, Luli. This place is not simple." Roar! As soon as Yang Hongwu's voice fell, the calm surface of the lake suddenly exploded. A giant snake rushed out of the water. It had a huge head, long horns, and sharp teeth. A pair of huge eyes stared at Yang Hongwu and Luli. It was a flood dragon. The black flood dragon's aura was very powerful. It was also a half-step divine emperor, like the Komodo dragon that was killed before. "Human." The giant snake stared at Yang Hongwu and said, "This was the holy land of the dragons." The giant snake was shocked that a human would come here. Could it be that the human race has already conquered the dragon world? Impossible. The Dragon Ball is below? Yang Hongwu looked at the giant snake in front of him and said, "Human, this is not a place you should come. Leave quickly, and I will pretend that nothing happened." The giant snake said, "Ha!" Yang Hongwu laughed. This giant snake had already turned into a flood dragon. If it continued to evolve, it would have the chance to become a divine dragon. It should have obtained the power of the Dragon Ball. Moreover, Yang Hongwu guessed that this Dragon Ball should not be an ordinary Emperor-level Dragon Ball. "You want me to leave, and I will leave?" "Impossible. Little snake, I want the Dragon Ball. Give me the Dragon Ball, and I will leave." Yang Hongwu said, "Human, do you know what you are saying?" The giant snake was angry and said, "You are courting death." Chapter 1509. Dragon Transformation Pagoda. "I'm going to eat you." The giant snake's huge body instantly rushed out of the water. It opened its mouth and bit towards Yang Hongwu, wanting to swallow Yang Hongwu whole. Yang Hongwu slashed with his battle saber. This slash instantly landed on the giant snake's head. Ding! A crisp sound rang out as sparks flew in all directions. The huge rebounding force sent Yang Hongwu flying. "Damn it! Damned human, you actually injured me." When the giant snake realized that its head had been torn open and blood was flowing out, it became even more furious. Yang Hongwu hadn't expected the defense of the giant snake's head to be so shocking. His battle blade was the Hongmeng battle blade, but it still couldn't break through the snake's defense. It was really shocking. "Little snake, your defense isn't bad. However, this is the end. I don't have the mood nor the time to waste with you here. Since you aren't willing to give me the Dragon Pearl, I can only kill you and take it myself." After saying that, Yang Hongwu activated the Nine Dragons' Saint Body. A huge divine dragon shadow appeared. It was the Nine Heavens Divine Dragon. The power of the divine dragon's bloodline burst out. The giant snake trembled under this huge pressure. Yang Hongwu instantly appeared beside the giant snake and slashed down with his battle saber. Kacha! With a crisp sound, the giant snake's head was chopped off by Yang Hongwu. This was just a matter of a breath. After killing the giant snake, Yang Hongwu took out the devouring furnace and sent the giant snake's body into the furnace to refine the majestic energy. After devouring the giant snake's energy, Yang Hongwu still did not break through. Although he felt that he had reached his limit, he still did not break through. This made Yang Hongwu very puzzled. It seemed that he had to obtain the Dragon Ball to break through. "Brother, are you okay?" Luli saw Yang Hongwu in a daze and couldn't help but ask. Yang Hongwu shook his head. "It's fine. Don't worry. Let's go down now." "I'll go first," Luli said and was about to step into the water. Yang Hongwu grabbed her. "Don't worry. Brother, is there still any danger?" "Yes." Yang Hongwu nodded and walked to the edge of the lake. Seeing a wild rabbit in the distance, he reached out and grabbed it, throwing it into the lake. A surprising thing happened. After the wild rabbit came into contact with the lake water, it was instantly frozen. "What's going on?" Seeing this scene, Luli was shocked. "How can this lake be so cold? This lake is not ordinary." Yang Hongwu had felt it before, because when he was fighting with the giant snake emitted a cold aura. If it weren't for the devouring furnace, his special physique, and his special cultivation method, it wouldn't have been easy to deal with the giant snake. "Brother, what should we do now?" Lu Li said. "Are we just going to wait here?" "Lu Li, you wait here. I'll go down and take a look," Yang Hongwu said. "No." Lu Li shook her head. "If you want, let's go together. You can't leave me behind." Seeing Lu Li's firm tone, Yang Hongwu nodded helplessly. "Okay, but you can't be too far away from me. Follow me." "Well, don't worry, brother. I won't mess around," Lu Li said. Yang Hongwu thought for a while and summoned the heavenly palace of destruction, protecting the two of them, and then entered the lake. Yang Hongwu could feel that the ancient pagoda in the lake was filled with a powerful force, and it contained a terrifying will. If this will wasn't the will of the Emperor-level Dragon Pearl, then it must be the will of the person who obtained the Emperor-level Dragon Pearl. In any case, Yang Hongwu would never give up this Emperor-level Dragon Pearl. Even if he didn't want it, it would be good to give it to Lu Li. If Lu Li obtained this Emperor-level Dragon Pearl, his strength would definitely advance by leaps and bounds. Not to mention becoming a divine emperor, at least breaking through to the Monarch God realm would be no problem at all. He could even reach the peak of the Monarch God realm, or even a half-step divine emperor realm. After entering the lake, the two of them saw the ancient tower. At the entrance of the ancient tower, there was a plaque with a few simple characters written on it. "It's the characters of the ancient dragons." Lu Li saw the simple characters and said. Yang Hongwu had never seen these ancient characters, but he knew the meaning of these ancient characters in his mind. "Dragon Transformation Pagoda," Yang Hongwu murmured. "This is the legendary Dragon Transformation Pagoda." Lu Li was also very surprised. Dragon Transformation Pagoda. As a dragon, he had recovered some of his memories, so he naturally knew what the Dragon Transformation Pagoda was. "It's really the Dragon Transformation Pagoda. This is unbelievable. The Dragon Transformation Pagoda. Big brother, we are really lucky this time. The Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate are treasures of the same level," Lu Li said in surprise. "It's a pity that this Dragon Transformation Pagoda doesn't seem to be powerful anymore. This Dragon Transformation Pagoda is an incomplete one." Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes and said, "No wonder the giant snake and the Komodo lizard both transformed into dragons. Moreover, they're so powerful, reaching the half-step divine emperor realm. It's because of this Dragon Transformation Pagoda. The Dragon Pearl's chi is in this Dragon Transformation Pagoda." Lu Li said, "Brother, take this Dragon Transformation Pagoda. The Dragon Transformation Pagoda already has an owner." Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed. He shook his head and said, "If you want to take the Dragon Transformation Pagoda, you have to kill the owner of the Dragon Transformation Pagoda." As soon as Yang Hongwu finished speaking, the door of the Dragon Transformation Pagoda opened and a passage appeared in front of them. "It seems that they want us to go in." Yang Hongwu's mouth curled into a smile as he said, "Brother, let me go in and have a look." Lu Li said and wanted to go in. Yang Hongwu grabbed her and smiled bitterly at Lu Li's impulsive behavior. This girl is still not very obedient. "Lu Li, are you not obedient? Did you forget what you said before we came down?" Yang Hongwu stared at Lu Li and said, "Brother, I'm worried about you. The door of the Dragon Transformation Pagoda is open. It's very dangerous inside. I'll go in and have a look. If something happens, you can still save me," Lu Li said. Yang Hongwu sighed. In fact, he knew what Lu Li was thinking. Lu Li was worried about his safety. "The opponent's strength has not reached the level that I'm afraid of." Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, "If the opponent's strength was really that strong, he wouldn't need to hide here. Moreover, there is no need to set up an illusion formation to hide himself." Chapter 15:10. Sacred Dragon Medical Scripture inside the formation. Even if the opponent was a half-step divine emperor or a fake divine emperor, he would not be able to kill Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu was confident that he could escape. "Come, let's go in." Yang Hongwu held Lu Li's hand and stepped into the Dragon Transformation Pagoda. Yang Hongwu felt a strong pressure as soon as they entered the pagoda. It was as if the pressure was going to break out of his blood vessels. Such pure dragon chi. Yang Hongwu could feel that there was a majestic dragon chi in the dragon transformation pagoda. The dragon chi was very pure and could enhance the blood vessels of dragons. Dragon transformation pagoda. It's really the dragon transformation pagoda. If a living being with the blood of dragons entered the dragon transformation pagoda, as long as they could withstand the power of the dragon transformation pagoda, they could transform into a real dragon. Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes. Dragon transformation pagoda, dragon transformation skill. Yang Hongwu thought of a skill, dragon transformation skill of all creation. This skill was very powerful and overbearing. However, no one had ever obtained the real dragon transformation skill of all creation. Even if they had obtained it, they could not cultivate it. It was said that the real dragon transformation skill of all creation was in the dragon transformation pagoda. If they could obtain it and cultivate it, it would be a good thing. Dragon transformation skill of all creation was definitely a top-notch skill. It was not weaker than the Nine Heavens divine dragon technique. If there was a chance, Yang Hongwu would definitely not let go of such a secret skill. Moreover, the dragon transformation skill of all creation seemed to be related to the Nine Heavens divine dragon technique. "Someone's here," Luli said. "I've been waiting for a long time." Yang Hongwu smiled and said, "Let's go and see who it is." The deeper they went, the less pressure they felt. Yang Hongwu was surprised. Soon, the two of them arrived at the center. They saw an old man sitting cross-legged with his eyes closed. However, there was a mysterious aura surrounding him. They could not see his cultivation level. However, one thing was for sure, the old man was very powerful. He could even be said to be unfathomable. "Brother, this old man is terrifying," Luli said. Yang Hongwu nodded. He had to admit that the old man was indeed very powerful. Yang Hongwu even suspected that the old man was divine emperor realm. However, if the old man wanted to deal with him and Luli, he would have done so. "You guys are here. I've been waiting for you for a long time." The old man opened his eyes and looked at Yang Hongwu and Luli. "Who are you?" Yang Hongwu frowned and asked. "Why are you waiting for me?" "Emperor, it seems that you haven't recovered your memory yet." The old man waved his hand and a table appeared. A pot of tea appeared on the table. The old man stood up slowly. After making a pot of tea, he handed 2 cups of tea to Yang Hongwu and Luli. Yang Hongwu took the teacup, but his expression froze. Did he just call him emperor? Who is this old man? After coming into contact with the old man, Yang Hongwu felt that there was a huge power in his body. If this power burst out, it would definitely be comparable to Divine Emperor Realm experts. It might even surpass Divine Emperor Realm experts. Who is this old man? Does he know me? Or is he my previous life? This is enlightenment holy tea. Yang Hongwu took a sip and felt that his cultivation level had increased. His understanding of the law realm became deeper. Many things that he did not understand were suddenly enlightened. As for Luli, after drinking the tea, his aura increased crazily. His cultivation level also increased. The old man waved his hand, and a majestic power was integrated into Luli's body. Luli's cultivation level increased even faster. After a dozen breaths, Luli's cultivation level increased to Divine Monarch Realm. This left Yang Hongwu dumbfounded. It was too powerful. Enlightenment Holy Tea was so powerful. For Yang Hongwu, although the Enlightenment Holy Tea gave him a lot of improvement, it was far less than Luli's. Luli's cultivation level could be said to have reached the sky in a single bound. Moreover, the old man was able to extract such a rich dragon chi with a wave of his hand and integrate it into Luli's body. If this old man wanted to fight, he might not be a match for him. After taking a deep breath, Yang Hongwu became more and more curious about the old man. If he wanted to fight, Yang Hongwu was not sure that he could leave. Of course, while he was curious, he was also very wary. "Emperor, don't worry. The imperial concubine is fine," the old man said. "Who are you? Why are you calling me emperor?" Yang Hongwu looked at the old man and asked. "I'm Li Longjin," the old man said. At this time, Luli opened his eyes and heard the old man's words. He couldn't help exclaiming, "Sacred Dr. Li Longjin of the Dragons?" Luli, you know this senior? Yang Hongwu asked. What Li Longzhen? Yang Hongwu had never heard of him. As for the sacred doctor of the dragons, he had never heard of him either. Luli nodded and said, there is some information about senior in my inherited memory. The sacred doctor of the dragons, Li Longzhen, is a mighty figure of the ancient dragons. His medical skills are unparalleled. He can bring back the dead, flesh and bones. As long as a trace of the soul's consciousness still exists, he can be saved. I didn't expect that the imperial concubine would have information about this old man. Li Longzhen smiled slightly and said, this is this old man's honor. However, I am him and also not him. The current me is just an incarnation. Senior, I wonder if you were waiting for me here. Yang Hongwu recalled the old man's words at the beginning and couldn't help but ask. Yes, Li Longzhen nodded and said, this old man's incarnation has been waiting here for tens of thousands of years for the emperor to come. May I know what senior's orders are? Yang Hongwu's tone was very respectful. Although this old man was just an incarnation, his strength was very terrifying. Moreover, he didn't seem to have any ill intentions towards Yi Qingyu. Therefore, Yi Qingyu still had to be polite. Emperor, you are too serious. This old man has been waiting here for the emperor to hand over the dragon transformation pagoda to the emperor. Now that the emperor has come, my mission is complete. In addition, I have some small skills here. I hope I can be of some help to the emperor. After saying that, Li Longzhen stretched out his finger. Before Yang Hongwu had time to react, his finger touched Yang Hongwu's forehead. Immediately, Yang Hongwu felt a vast amount of information rush into his mind. Sacred Dragon Medical Scripture. Yang Hongwu opened his eyes after a while. Thank you, Senior. Yang Hongwu bowed to Li Longzhen. Chapter 1511. Pagoda recognizes its owner, Senior. Yang Hongwu wanted to ask about his past life, but he didn't expect that Yi Shiwen had already dissipated in the void. It was as if Yi Shiwen didn't give him a chance to ask. Yang Hongwu was speechless. What emperor? Yang Hongwu was depressed. They had guessed that he was the legendary demonic dragon, and now he was some emperor. He might have other identities in the future. However, what kind of title was Imperial Emperor? Was it a cultivation realm? This made Yang Hongwu very curious. He had thought that the Emperor realm was the peak. Later on, he found out that there was the true God realm above the Emperor realm. Later on, he found out that there were God monarchs and God emperors above the true God realm. Now, Yang Hongwu only knew that there should be a higher realm above the God Emperor realm. However, he did not know what it was called. Could it be the Emperor? Yang Hongwu threw these thoughts aside and started to search for information about the Dragon Transformation Pagoda. What was in the Dragon Transformation Pagoda? How did the Dragon Transformation Pagoda recognize its owner? As these thoughts appeared in Yang Hongwu's mind, he discovered that a small golden dragon had appeared and entered Yang Hongwu's forehead in an instant. He could not dodge in time. However, in the next moment, Yang Hongwu was pleasantly surprised. The Dragon Transformation Pagoda recognized its owner. He did not expect the Dragon Transformation Pagoda to recognize him as its owner. The Dragon Transformation Pagoda was the same as the Dragon Gate. They were supreme treasures that complemented each other. The Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate both had the power to turn everything into dragons. It was said that the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate were originally the same treasure. Later on, for some unknown reason, the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate were separated and became two different treasures. Since then, the power of the Dragon Transformation Pagoda and the Dragon Gate have been greatly reduced. However, even so, they were still supreme treasures. After the Dragon Transformation Pagoda recognized him as its owner, Yang Hongwu's cultivation did not break through. He was still in the half-step true God realm. However, Yang Hongwu had an additional cultivation technique in his mind. It was the legendary art of dragon transformation. The all things dragonization incantation possessed boundless power. When cultivated to the pinnacle, one could transform anything into a dragon and use it as one's own power. All living beings that have been affected by the 10,000 dragonization art and turned into dragons would be controlled. Furthermore, Their powers could be extracted at any time. This was extremely frightening. While this cultivation method weakened the opponent, it also made the user stronger. Under such circumstances, the opponent had no way to survive. This cultivation method, especially when used in a group attack, could unleash a terrifying effect. However, the 10,000 Dragons transformation skill seemed to be incomplete. Like the Dragon Transformation Pagoda, it was also incomplete. In that case, its power would be much weaker. However, even so, it was still of great help to Yang Hongwu. In future battles, this art of dragon transformation would be very helpful. To Yang Hongwu, the art of dragon transformation was the best divine art for group attacks. At this moment, he heard Lu Li's groan. "Lu Li, you're awake." Yang Hongwu looked at Lu Li in surprise. "You've made a breakthrough in your cultivation." "Yes, thank you for your help. My cultivation has finally broken through to the Monarch God Realm." Lu Li said, "If it wasn't for your help, I don't know how long it would take for me to reach the Monarch God Realm. Do we still need to thank each other between us?" Yang Hongwu smiled. When Lu Li heard this, she couldn't help but recall how Li Longjin addressed the two of them. One was the emperor, and the other was the imperial concubine. Her brother Yang Hongwu was the emperor, and she was the imperial concubine. Thinking of this, Lu Li's face flushed red. "Brother, where's Senior Li?" Lu Li couldn't help but ask when she didn't see Li Longjin. "He's already gone." Yang Hongwu said, "I've already taken the Dragonization Pagoda. Unfortunately, there are no Emperor-level Dragon Balls here." Yang Hongwu found that there was nothing in the Dragonization Pagoda now. The Dragonization Pagoda originally had a lot of energy, but because of Yang Hongwu and Lu Li, the Dragon Chi in the Dragonization Pagoda had been exhausted. Of course, even so, the power of the Dragonization Pagoda was still very amazing. Once it was used, its power was endless. The biggest use of the Dragonization Pagoda now was to improve the bloodline of dragons, allowing dragons to evolve and increase their strength. Of course, the extent to which the bloodline could be improved depended on the aptitude of the person. The better the aptitude of the person, the greater the bloodline's level of evolution. "Gone?" Lu Li said, "I still want to say thank you to Senior." Hearing that Li Longjin had left, Lu Li was a little disappointed. "It's time for us to leave." Yang Hongwu said, "The goal of this operation has been achieved." "Okay." Lu Li nodded. Yang Hongwu moved his mind. After the two of them left the Dragonization Pagoda, the Dragonization Pagoda turned into a ray of light and entered Yang Hongwu's sea of consciousness. The Dragonization Pagoda and the Dragon Gate faced each other. However, there was a special connection between the two. "Where are we going now?" Lu Li asked. "Are we still looking for the genius tokens?" The two of them had already found the genius tokens here. In total, there were thousands of them. In fact, there were only 20,000 genius tokens in the entire Holy Dragon War territory. Yang Hongwu and Lu Li had already obtained more than 8,000 genius tokens here, almost half of the total number of genius tokens in the Holy Dragon War territory. The Holy Dragon War territory is not simple. It's an internal space of the dragon's holy ground. If I can devour this place, my cultivation will definitely break through and enter the Tai True God realm. Yang Hongwu's eyes shone. The Holy Dragon War territory was very special, but in fact, it was a special space created by the holy ground of the dragons. It was equivalent to a micro-world. Of course, this micro-world was very small. "Brother, you want to devour and refine the entire Holy Dragon War territory?" Lu Li was shocked. Although the Holy Dragon War territory was not a big space, the energy it contained was very majestic. Moreover, there were many powerful exotic beasts here. However, there were no half-step divine emperor exotic beasts other than the ones they had just seen. The strongest exotic beasts were only at the late divine monarch realm. Even so, it was impossible for the young geniuses of the Dragon Clan to defeat them. The only one who could reach that level was Blair. Unfortunately, Blair had already been killed by Yang Hongwu. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.